to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the campus of Arsenal Tech, where we have a matchup tonight where it is the Richmond Red Devils facing off against the Arsenal Tech Titans Lady Varsity Basketball. Alongside the Doc, I am Charles Benberry. Thanks for joining us today. And Doc, as was just told to call you during their off air, looks like Arsenal Tech is going to try to get back inside the win column, 2-5 on this year's matchup, but they've really struggled as of late, just producing some points. Last week they lost 91-3, and then in their last 3 games combined, they've scored about a total of 25 to 30 points. So what can this Arsenal Tech Lady Titans team do to try to get some more offense and move the ball around a little bit more?
Right. What you're going to see is 2 teams that are in different spots tonight. You're going to see Richmond. I think that you're going to see them moving the ball, and things are going to come pretty easily to them. This is going to be a glorified practice almost for them, and getting things done. For Tech, I really believe that there are some things that they can walk away from this game feeling good about themselves with, even if it's not a W. Now anything can happen on any given night, so let's not write them off yet. But just seeing some of their games lately, they're really trying to work on the fundamental part of the game, which is, that's where you want to start. So, they started out the season with a different roster. It looks a little bit different today than it did before. That's okay. You don't want to hit the panic button, especially if, but this is where coaches earn their money, right? This is where, things aren't going the best, and you really have to hunker down and keep things positive, even though there might only be one or two things to be positive about. And really keep these girls that are left on the roster engaged. We'll talk about it as we get into the program a little bit more, but, they're missing 3 of their best players that they started the year with. And those that are left are left, holding this, trying to hold the fort up, and they're struggling right now, and they're trying to find their own identity. So let's hope that they take another step towards that today. And are able to walk out of that gym with a better sense of who they are.
Missing, as you mentioned, their 3 best players, some to injury and some due to the COVID-19 pandemic that we have going on here. So, again, hopefully we'll be able to see the Lady Titans and their best players be able to come back later on in this year. Their last game faced off against Decatur Central, and they lost that matchup 61-9. That was on Tuesday. And then on last Saturday, they played the Indiana School for the Deaf, and they lost that matchup. I believe that was 48-9. So, Again, Arsenal Tech looking to get back inside the win column. They started off the season well, and then, as you mentioned, just some unfortunate things have happened for them. On the other side of the ball with Richmond, they are 4-3 heading into today's matchup. They lost their first 2 games, and they have then since won their last 2, but they've been kind of on a back-and-forth wishy-washy season. In the last 3 games, they won 2 of those against Muncie Central and Northmount, and then lost to Rushville last Thursday. So, and all those last 3 games have been close. They lost by 2 last Thursday, won by 3 on Monday, and then won by 1 on Wednesday. So, a lot of these games are close, are coming down to the wire, but Coach Hillard has his team maybe peaking at the right time of the year.
Yeah, the good thing about Richmond is they're battle tested. Another thing, for both teams, really, you look at the games that didn't happen for them around the November-ish or even October-ish time frame, and you've got, I think it's like a combined 10 games that were canceled between the 2 teams. So it's hard to get in that rhythm. It's hard to know when your next game's going to be. You get up for that game and then it's canceled. So it's just weird times, man, and a lot of it comes down to how you manage it.
For Richmond, they have 2 players that score in double digits, led by their senior point guard, Najaya Orr. Also scoring in double digits for the Red Devils is Jakaya Lotz, a 5'6 junior. So Arsenal Tech going to have a difficult time trying to guard these guys, and they have a power forward on Richmond, a senior, 5'10", Aaliyah Allen, who stands at 5'10" and figures to be a huge part in the matchup tonight. We are just moments away from tip-off here at Arsenal Tech. We'll step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, starting lineups and the tip-off against the Red Devils and the Arsenal Tech Titans. You're listening to IHSAA Basketball on Indiana SRN.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know Pitt and let us make your world a better place.
Hey, it's Keith Myers from Indiana Sports Radio Network. Well, thank you that you're watching the game tonight on Indiana SRN. If you would like to know more information about Indiana SRN, send me an email, coach@indianasrn.org. As vice president of this company, we hope that you sit back and enjoy the game. It's Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Alongside the doc, I am Charles Benberry, and welcome back to IPSathletics.tv, where you are set to see the Richmond Red Devils face off against the Arsenal Tech Titans. Tech Titans come into today's matchup 2-5. Richmond comes into this matchup 4-3. Tech led by their head coach, Coach Melson, and Richmond is coached by their head guy, Shane Hillard. And, Doc, I'm going to ask you the keys to both matchups. You already kind of mentioned or touched on Tech's keys, but why don't you kind of go over Tech's keys, and then let's talk about Richmond and what they need to do today to get a victory for themselves.
Yeah, so I think Richmond just needs to stay inside and play their game. I don't think they're going to find things that awfully difficult. I think they need to stay inside what they normally do and really focus on getting better at that. I mean, I know that sounds boring. I know it sounds cliche, especially from a coach here, but just be yourself. Walk out of that gym saying, we played our game, and we're better than when we stepped on the court for doing it. Now, when you talk about Tech, and we already kind of hit on this, you're trying to find your identity. Richmond, they know who they are. They're going to keep doing what they do. But for Tech, it's all about, hey, who are we now? You see some of their scores at the beginning of the season. They started out scoring 27 points. In the last, I think it's like 4 or 5 games, they haven't broken 10. So, who are they now? How are they going to be led? Who's going to lead them? And because you also see on the court lately, it's kind of a mismatch of emotions for them. So let's see if they can kind of at least find a little bit to build on and find an identity tonight.
And we have the starting lineups going on for the Richmond Red Devils. We'll go ahead and give them to you as well. Starting off at the point guard position will be the 5'9" junior, number 3, J.C. Allen, alongside her, and probably doing more of the ball handling duties, the 5'3" senior, number 5, Najaya Orr. At one of the forward positions, a 5'6" junior, number 21, Jakaya Lotz. Also at the other guard/forward position, a 5'6" senior, number 22, Mackenzie Wirt. And the power forward/center, a 5'10" senior, number 24, Aliyah Allen. For the Tech Titans, the home team, starting off at one of the guard positions, will be number 0, Carmen Red. You see her coming through your screen now. At another guard position will be number 10, Ashley Marin. Starting off at a guard/forward position will be number 20, Sarah Gilbert. At the other guard position will be number 3, Zakia Beck-Myers. And also in the starting lineup, number 5, Raven Kendrick. And you can see the uniforms for the Tech Titans. I kind of like these jerseys, Doc. The all-white jerseys with the green trim.
Yeah.
Makes it easy for us to see numbers.
That's the best thing.
and for broadcasters, that's the main thing, looking for the numbers and making sure we can read. So they made it easy for us. Richmond, on the other hand, is a little more difficult. All black jerseys with the red trim, red numbers, and white trim.
It's a good thing you're still young. You can see that, right?
Oh, man, I feel old. I feel old. I turned 28 in September. And
you're about to make a lot of people mad.
I know. I tell my grandma all the time I feel old, and she goes, "You're not old. You don't even know what old is yet." So Richmond controls tip-off, and we are underway here.
Something you're going to see a lot out of Tech is that 2-3 zone, and you'll see a lot of that too. They lack communication so far in their 2-3 zone this season. Let's just see if they can kind of communicate enough to know exactly who gets who. This is another thing they struggled with, is bringing the ball up the court against pressure. And you can tell right now that the coaching staff for Richmond knew that, and they're applying it early.
So after a missed shot by Aaliyah Allen, Tech turns the ball over, and they seem to get it back as it was out of bounds, and now the refs will discuss. It looked to be that Zakiya Beck-Myers had the ball with a foot out of bounds, but refs are going to call it Tech basketballs. And you mentioned Tech trying to get through this full court press, so we'll see how they seem to manage that. And now Tech has scored on the wrong basket.
Well, they scored, so that's good.
So that's a 2 points for Richmond. Doing that was Ashley Marin, was super excited to score and get the basketball, and so I'm not sure how to put that on my score sheet.
I'm not either.
I don't know if I put -2 points or if I.
Well, I think the closest person to the ball there was I'm going to say Asia Orr. So let's just go with that. I've never seen. I've never seen. I've never been a part of that. That's,
me either.
It's kind of cute. You can kind of see all the girls down there smiling.
And you can see from her reaction. She
right.
Was like,
one of her girls over here, you kind of fell to the floor like, I want to escape right now. But you know what? Maybe that relaxes it.
Richmond gets the ball inside and loses it, but it's going to go off of a Titan player. I believe that was off Sarah Gilbert.
Jakaya Lotz, she's one of their better players. You can also tell, just when she has the ball, her footwork is pretty superb, and she's a very strong and physical player. They're running a little bit of motion here against the 2-3 zone.
This leads to a corner three, no good, but it is rebounded by Ashley Marin. And here comes the Tech Titans. Maverick in the corner, passes back to the top of the key. That's Beck-Myers. Myers controls the offense, swings over to the far side in the hands of Gilbert. Gilbert wants to penetrate, can't find a lane, and then she does not dribble for 5 seconds, so it is a turnover on her end. And for Gilbert, you're looking for a teammate to try to move and pass the ball, and everyone's kind of just standing still.
That's something that they've really struggled with all year, their offense being so stagnant, especially even when they get across half court, when there's pressure. They have struggled to really get that ball moved. There's a lot of dribbling, a lot of standing around waiting. One of the only things that I can think of right now that has gone right for Tech so far this year is Ashley Marin has been a rebounding machine. So let's see if she can keep that up.
Missed shot by Jakaya Lotz down in the paint leads to a Gilbert drive. Now inside the paint to Marin. Marin looking for a teammate, finds Beck-Myers, back to Marin. Marin wanted to shoot, but she left the court and then came back down with the ball in her hand. So that is going to be a turnover violation, and now a whole lineup change for Richmond seems to be underhand. So we'll get those lineups to you as we can. On the court is Peyton Morgan. Also on the court looks to be Lucia Farrer.
Yeah, it looks like some of the younger girls may be in right now. I'm not sure what the reasoning was for it. It could be COVID. It could be, as they step on the out-of-bounds line there. There could be several different reasons why that was. But, the coach decides to go ahead and make those changes.
Tristan Neely has also checked into the game. So, again, with the Richmond jerseys, a little hard to read, so we will get those numbers to you as soon as we can, as a three from Tech is no good. That shot taken by Raven Kendrick.
So, she got an open look. and she's been comfortable shooting them. They don't always go for her, but she's been comfortable in that spot. So, hey, I mean, that was a decent possession for them. They got a good look. They brought the ball up, moved the ball, shot it right away as we got to travel there. But, I think Coach Milson wants a few more of those possessions. As here we go again. I don't know if they're doing offense, defense.
Yeah, and another starting lineup change, so now the original starter is back in the game.
Maybe the coach just had to make it a point. Yeah, I mean, when you're going up against a team like Tech, you need to make sure they're engaged, because this is a game that could get out of hand. So he wanted to stop the game without stopping the game, and just tell his players, hey, this is what I expect out of you. I'm not getting it. And he got his point across. So let's see if it worked.
Drive by Zakia Beck-Myers goes out of bounds. Thought she was fouled. Doesn't get the call. So leads to a Richmond possession here. They lead this matchup 2-0 with about 4:40 to go. And now either an injured player or the coach is now out on the court. So
there's an official timeout. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
There might have been something on the court, and head coach took it upon herself to grab it. So
she's an all-around coach.
We're back underway. This leads to a corner three for Richmond. This time it is no good, but rebounded by Richmond. Shot is up and no good. That's Jakaya Lotz, and she'll have her first opportunity at the free throw line. Just a reminder, the score is 2-0, but a Richmond player has not technically scored.
That's true.
A Arsenal Tech mishap scored for Richmond, so it is 2-0. Richmond in these looking for the first points. It is no good by Lotz.
Yeah, you could tell, she's very strong. She's very quick. She makes one of two free throws there. She's going to be a beast to stop down there tonight, especially because Tech does not have size on their roster anywhere right now.
Tech gets the ball down in the left corner. And now Beck-Myers will control point. She finds Marin. Tech trying to get through this zone being deployed by the Red Devils. And here is the miscommunication again. You see them trying to get the ball moving, trying to get something going, but just that communication just doesn't seem to be there early.
That was a decent possession for them. I know those are things that as a coach you have to applaud that. I mean, yes, they walked away empty-handed, but with everything going on with Tech right now, that's something to build on.
This leads to another corner three, but before she can get that shot off, it is going to be a traveling violation on Richmond.
I think Allen may have stayed. I think she may have set up camp in the three-point lane there. Or, the 3-second lane.
Tech gets their ball stolen on the inbound pass.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot of that as there's a missed three.
And Richmond penetrates the lane, and before Ajaya Orr can get to the basket, a foul is going to be called on Arsenal Tech. I believe that's going to go on Raven Kendrick. If so, that's her first personal.
Yeah, this defense really needs, right there, who is supposed to have that player, right? That's just something that 2-3 defense needs work on. And you can tell, again, Tech really struggles when it comes to that pressure.
Jakaya Lotz had that basket.
So right down here, you've got two players that are right there to make that stop, and neither one of them, comes down to make that play. So as we have another turnover on press.
Lotz, just a step inside the free throw, knocks down a jumper. She's got all 5 of the Richmond 7 points, and it looks like a timeout's going to be called by the Tech Titans. we'll go ahead and keep it here. And again,
I've never heard that. All 5 of the 7 points.
Yeah,
that's amazing. You were right, though.
Yeah, again, Ashley Marin for Tech scored the first 2 points for Richmond. She scored on the wrong basket, but I'm not sure who to give those points to, so I'm not going to give it to anyone.
Yeah. So,
I just wrote down Tech scored 2 of Richmond's points.
I really like seeing that during that timeout right there. Coach Milson, I don't know what she's getting paid, but it's not enough. Because she is absolutely working her tail off. I've seen the same thing in other games that I've watched of theirs. She is just giving it everything she can. She's staying positive, just like right there in that huddle. It's so natural probably for those girls to just go to each, go see their coach after, a couple turnovers and just kind of hang their head. But at the end of the day, she is making such a difference on that team, and I just applaud her for her effort and her enthusiasm.
You saw Tech get past the full court press there as Arena Taylor checks in for Tech. But Richmond seems to be double teaming once they inbound the ball. They're double teaming whoever gets that ball. So for Tech, got to make sure you keep that dribble alive.
Well, the biggest thing is you got to keep it in the middle of the floor, right? So once you, and the passes aren't exactly crisp, they're not great, as there's an and one. But as soon as you go over towards the baseline, towards out of bounds, that's when the double team happens. And unfortunately for Tech, they seem to keep finding themselves in a trappable, case. So as you see right there, that's just straight power that Tech doesn't have. They can't compete.
Again, Jakai Lotz, a 5'6" junior, leaves that free throw short. And she gets her own rebound. A three-pointer is no good by Richmond, and the ball is rebounded by Tech.
So now that's the one thing that Tech needs to be better at. If they're going to struggle, they don't do it on purpose, but if they struggle with the pressure of the press, they have to be able to score in transition off of misses, because you can only press off of makes. Looks like a travel.
A good drive there by Beck Myers. I believe a foul is going to be on Richmond.
Foul. Okay.
But you mentioned that, excuse me, you coached in your time, and you saw when they passed the ball to that right wing, there were 3 separate Tech players, so spacing and just moving without the ball is something that Tech is working on throughout the week in practice, as Tech looking for their first points is going to be taken by Kendrick is no good. It is going to be knocked off by Kendrick herself. So Kendrick seems to be the quote-unquote shooter for this new look Tech Titan team.
She likes that spot for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I would like, you want to see them get high percentage shots. So if you're Coach Milson, you want to try to get shots inside, where the percentage is a little bit higher. But, we've seen her in different games. We've seen her in warm-ups take that shot over and over again. If she's open, so be it. You'll live with that.
This shot by Richmond gets their own rebound, put up and in by Aaliyah Allen. She's got her first 2 points. Richmond has their first double-digit lead.
So right there, I know they're frustrated, but you have Carmen Red inbound to play. She passes right to Beck Myers, and she passes it into the corner. Now, right away, that's going to trigger a trap. Now, you have to get rid of the ball quickly because you know it's coming. If you hold on to it at all, that's what's going to happen as a turnover. So, hopefully Coach can kind of talk them through that point. I know it's not the first time she said it this year.
Lotz with a shot, gets her own rebound, and then she is fouled. I believe that's going to go on Carmen Red. If so, her first, and that'll put Lotz back on the free throw line, where she is 1 for 3 so far in this game.
Oh, geez, that's a... If she would have met, they should have called a lane violation there as Ashley Merritt just kind of strolled into the free throw lane while Lotz was dribbling, as she hits both. Lots of stuff to work on for Tech. As you can see, again, it's that pass to the corner that they're really struggling with.
A lane violation. A 3-second lane violation called on Richmond. So, yeah, you'll see they pass. Oh, as I say, watch. They don't do it.
Well, you know what? But Richmond is making it look like it's open, right? And that's the point of. There's another 3. And that's the point of the press, is to make you think you're open, and then as soon as the ball is let go, that's when you collapse onto it. And they're leaving you open for a reason. They want you to have it. So, again, another good rebound by Marin, but then it's another turnover. So they don't deal well with pressure, and that's the biggest part that they need to overcome. Coach Milson has to find a way to slow the game down for her girls, and it will happen eventually. You need more game time together as a team, as this group. They just need to play more together.
Under a minute to go here. Richmond leads this matchup 13-0. Jakaya Lotz and Aaliyah Allen, the only 2 to score for Richmond. And here is Allen here, spins to her left, and a nice-looking post move for Allen. Again, the 5'10 senior. She's got 4 total. No full-court press this time deployed by Richmond. Tech will be looking for their first points to end this first quarter.
Richmond's got a couple really good post players. And right now, Allen and Lotz are responsible for all the points until right now.
And that was J.C. Allen, I believe, with the fast break layup. And that is how this first quarter ends. Interesting start. Richmond leads the entire quarter 17-0. We'll be back with the second quarter on IPSathletics.tv.
Faith in a company is extremely important, and Johnson Mellon puts their money where their mouth is. In the past several years, we've, as a company, had tithed in which is pretty unheard of.
Things from donating equipment to churches, helping non-for-profits, helping wounded warriors, working with the Catholic community, the churches, a lot of people that may be even struggling that help daycares, help children come into this industry. So we do a lot of donations back to the community, but also our workers and our team also helps in those projects.
Alongside the doc, I am Charles Benberry. Thank you for joining us for this exciting matchup, Richmond versus the Tech Titans. Here's a replay of that last post move there. You see nice footwork and then just a nice turnaround shot by Aaliyah Allen. I mentioned before the break an interesting start to this game. Tech scored the first 2 points for Richmond. So 15 total points scored by 3 players for Richmond, 2 for Tech as that ball is tipped out of bounds.
Man, until that ball went out of bounds, I thought that it was a replay of how we ended the first quarter. When J.C. Allen kind of stepped in front of the pass. That's another thing. The difference between passes from Tech to Richmond. Richmond flicks the ball around. There's purpose behind those passes. Tech, they're just giving it to each other. They're not, there's no purpose behind it. It looks like there's timeout right now, but they really have to get better at their passing.
With the music, it sounds like a official's review of how the ball was knocked out, but I didn't know they had review in high school basketball.
I call Tech for a reason. They have the technology to do so. I brought dad jokes. So you're gonna have to tell the audience the reasoning behind your name. Yeah. Hopefully Keith's not watching.
So I guess you get calls from our head boss Keith Myers about if he has a medical question, but you're not a doctor.
I'm really not a real doctor. It looks like a technical foul was issued somewhere. I'm happy to give my opinion, but no, I'm not a real doctor. believe it or not.
I kind of wonder why Keith doesn't call me for those medical.
I can tell him.
I think I'm the last person Keith wants to take medical advice from. I have no idea. So it possibly was a technical foul called on someone on Tech, and that leads to 2 shots and the basketball. So
I mean, it obviously wasn't because anybody was I don't know. I really don't.
Floater in the lane is good.
Is that Kenzie Wirt's first basket?
Her first 2. Richmond leads this game 21-0, and they get a steal here quickly up the court.
Nice block. Oh,
I thought they were going to let that one go. That foul's going to go on Sarah Gilbert.
So if you saw that last, and it was coming out of a timeout kind of a type of a situation, Tech against a 2-3 zone tries to throw it to the free throw line, which is a really good place to facilitate an offense from against a 2-3 zone. So Coach Milson is trying to teach them the fundamentals of the game, trying to teach them how to break the full court press, trying to teach them how to break the 2-3 zone without being able to hit their jumpers. That's really how you do that. And so it's something that it's a process, and let's just hope that, she, like I said, they want to be better than when they stepped on the court, when they walk off of it. So
first free throw attempt by J.C. Allen was no good. Second one is the exact result. Ball is knocked out of bounds by Tech, so Richmond will retain the basketball.
We haven't heard of what that technical was, and I'm not sure we will, but that was kind of strange. They're coming right out into the second quarter.
My guess would be a player said something because the ball wasn't inbounded yet before that happened. So
possibly. Yeah, too many players, possibly. It's hard to tell from. If you haven't figured it out, we're working remote. Okay, so that's a tough call, and let me kind of just go over why. I really like what Marin did right there. Ashley Marin jumped straight up, did not bring her arms down at all. She went up vertical. While the offensive player, Aliyah Allen, she was the one jumping into Marin. So now they called it looked bad for sure. But Marin, who's going to sit down for probably the rest of the half with the third foul, I thought she did a good job of playing defense on that possession.
Allen knocks down a pair of free throws. She has 6 points. Richmond leads this matchup 23-0, just under 7 minutes to go. Red controls the ball for Tech. And Tech for the first points of the game is good. That is Zakiya Beck-Myers. She gets Tech on the board in a good-looking drive there as she got that pass, and she realized that she couldn't go all the way to the lane, so she recognized she had to stop for the jump shot or the floater, and she got that to fall.
Yeah, and another key point to note right there was that was the first possession, as Allen scores again, that was the first possession that Richmond switched and played man-to-man. So, I really think that they can score against man-to-man. I think the zone kills them. The pressure kills them. But that they can do things against a man-to-man defense. Moving pick? Timeout. Okay. But, yeah, I really like – and I think maybe Coach Milson noticed that too, and she wants to, let them know right away, hey, this is man-to-man. Let's this is what we're going to do now.
So as Tech calls a timeout, this is the first points by Arsenal Tech there, and you can kind of just see a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Kind of from everyone on the team. Getting those first 2 points is a little difficult. Again, especially in their last couple games where they haven't been able to score much. I think getting that first basket out of the way can be a sigh of relief and maybe take some of that added pressure and some of the frustration off of the team. So maybe that kind of relaxes them a little bit.
Hopefully.
And kind of gets them back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, because right now it's not it's not a secret. You can read their body language, and they're struggling. I think even the coach is struggling at this point, and you know, she's been such a model of positivity, you know, lately. So, and you know, it's good when your own player scores for the other team for the first basket of the game. I mean, that's going to, you know, kind of tell you what the night's going to be like. So let's see if they can string a couple together.
Here's Beck Myers with the left-handed dribble. She finds Red. She has a shot inside the free throw. Try to use the backboard. Can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Neely of Richmond.
So I think what Richmond is trying to do now, Hillard maybe realizes, look, we're not as good of a man-to-man team as I like. This is a great time to practice that. And for Tech, they actually have a couple athletes, there's a three, that can get around a man-to-man type of situation. So this is a perfect time to practice if you're Richmond. And, you know, for Tech, maybe it's a good time to take a little bit of advantage.
Missed three there by Carmen Red leads to a easy basket.
Nice pass.
Inside for Richmond. I believe that shot was taken in and made by Peyton Morgan. Her first 2 points of the game.
Yeah, that was a great flash there in the middle and a great dish from the free throw line. Again, that's where you like to facilitate it, is that high post.
Carmen Red taking the last few shots for Tech. She is fouled at that free throw line jumper. I believe that's going to be taken by Tristan Neely as we show you the replay, Doc, of the last play. You mentioned that good cut there, and that's just a bad defensive play there by Kendrick, and just she got caught with her back turned, and once Morgan realized that, she cuts the basket.
Well, she had a defensive responsibility out in the corner. So, but again, we talked about it earlier in the game. If they're going to play that 2-3 zone, they have to communicate on who's going to get who where. So if she would have came down, obviously you have to get the player closest to the basket, but then she leaves, you know, somebody open for a wide open three. So you just have to communicate.
First attempt by Carmen Red is no good. Second is the exact same. So she goes empty at the free throw line. Richmond leads this game 27-2. And a foul up top by Raven Kendrick. Looked like she was hugging.
She can get out of control sometimes. She is quick, but you know, when she has to move side to side, she can get it out of control sometimes. And now, you know, it Tech's over the bonus, so Richmond will be shooting some free throws.
So the 1-on-1 for J.C. Allen. She has 2 points in this game coming into the matchup. She scores about 4 points. She goes empty at the free throw line. Tech with the rebound.
Still in man-to-man. And it really hurts Tech that they don't have a legit ball carrier or point guard. I think that as Beck Myers kind of gets called for a foul there, I think she's good, she's quick, but every time you pressure her, she kind of freaks out. She picks up the ball right away, and then she finds herself in no-win situations, which is what happened there. So Richmond's going to go to the line again for another 1-on-1 situation.
For that will be Aaliyah Allen. She has 8 of the Richmond 27. She misses that free throw attempt, and Gilbert with the good effort gets the rebound for Tech. She'll bring the ball up. Gilbert with the right-hand dribble, picks it up, now finds Beck Myers. Beck Myers tries to find Red, and it is turned over. Here comes Richmond.
Again, Beck Myers picks up her dribble and really makes it difficult for herself.
Richmond breaks the press, leads to a Jakaya Lotz easy 2 points. She's got 4 this quarter.
Yeah, and there's the body language again, and it's demoralizing. And you know, like we said during the break, these kids work awfully hard to not have any kind of reward come at the end of it. So let's hope something goes right for them soon.
Allen with the steal. Allen with the 2 points. Extends the lead 31-2. And looking ahead, I'm not sure if Tech plays again I believe they have maybe a couple more games before the holidays, so and maybe the holiday break will be a good break, and that allows the coaching staff for Tech to maybe figure some things out. It's you mentioned it's kind of hard doing things on the fly, especially with everything going on this year with the pandemic, and you lose your best players, and you obviously don't come into the season expecting to be playing without your 3 best players, and then the pandemic happens. So maybe the holidays will allow them some time to sit down and figure some things out.
Yeah, and it's tough, to be a kid during this time anyway, and then you throw in the type of schooling that, that's going on, and some things are tougher for some schools than others, and right now it's just Tech just needs some things to go right, and let's see if it can start tonight. It doesn't have to start, right this minute, but, Coach Milson just needs something to hang their hat on.
Allen drives to the basket, and she is fouled.
I really like Allen and Lotz, the way that they've been playing. They're really, to have those two type of players, down on the post, Richmond's very fortunate. I really like to see them going up against, Tech does not have that style of player, but I'd like to see them going up against another post-up player.
Allen knocks down a pair of free throws. 33-2 is our score, 2:45 to go in the second quarter.
So it looks like Richmond went back to another form of zone. It doesn't look. Maybe it is a 2-3. Maybe it's just extended.
And either out of bounds or fouled by Richmond.
Good sportsmanship there by Richmond.
I think, and during that man, I think I was going to point out earlier, you can see Richmond not. I think at times they could have been there and stolen the ball pretty easily. Allen is really the only one on the perimeter who is going for the steals, but I think you can see Richmond. I don't want to say they're taking it easy because I don't think any team should do that, but they have opportunities to steal the ball and they aren't doing it.
Yeah,
and maybe that should maybe they want to get Tech in rhythm and not make this game. Tech had a game last week where they lost 96-3, and I don't know if Richmond wants to have a game like that themselves.
It's not good for anyone. And I'll tell you, I've been on both sides. It's not fun for the team that's winning either. It's really not. It's you want to go up against a team that pushes you, that makes you better. This isn't so. If you're Coach Hillard, you can only coach one team, and you can't worry about the other team stopping you. You have to say, okay, here are some of the things we need work on. Let's work on those tonight during tonight's game. The outcome is already probably sealed up. So let's go ahead and work on some of the things that we're not so good at. But you don't ever want to tell a player not to compete.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to tell a player not to give everything they have. You want to put them in positions that are going to make them a better all-around player.
Tech did a good job there, finding teammates, moving the basketball around. It's going to be rewarded with a pair of free throws by Carmen Red. She went empty on her first trip to the line earlier in this quarter. And so Red will be looking for her first points of the game.
Shared a little bit of a smile there before her free throws, so it's good to see her, and it was Beck Myers having a little bit of fun out there in a tough situation. You can kind of tell by the body language they're a little bit upset, but to be able to find it in themselves to smile and have a good time.
Interesting note for Red as she knocks down a pair of free throws. She takes those dribbles with her left hand, but then she shoots with her right.
Yes. Interesting.
So I'm not sure if she's left hand. I mean, I guess she's done predominantly right hand dribbling, but just an interesting thing I noticed.
Great move.
As the ball is inside and a layup is made Again, jersey's a little hard to read for Richmond. It was either by Peyton Morgan or maybe Abigail Brewer.
I think it was Peyton.
So we'll give those 2 points to Peyton Morgan. And now here's a steal on the other end for Richmond, and that one was by number 12, so that has to be Abigail Brewer.
Yeah, we don't have a 12 on the roster, unfortunately. Try to get that just in case her parents are watching.
And if they are, I apologize. I'm calling her Abigail Brewer. She's the only one on my roster with that number, so she gets number 12. And she gets her first points of the game, or a turnover of the game, excuse me. So we'll see if Tech can score some points before the end of the quarter, as Red for 3 off the backboard, no good. Rebounded by Wirt of Richmond.
Well, Red's she's gonna get her money's worth. She's wearing that backboard out right now, but hopefully a couple will fall for her.
And that is how the second quarter will end. Richmond leads 35-4. It is halftime here. When we come back, we will go over the first half and then look ahead to the second half. Alongside the .com, Charles Benbury, you're watching IPS Athletics on IPSathletics.tv.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
DeWitt S. Morgan Hall. Groundbreaking for the new shops building took place in 1957 on the former site of the Electric Building, which was raised to make room for the new building, which was to be named Morgan Hall, after Tech's second principal, DeWitt Schuyler Morgan. Principal Hanson H. Anderson, accompanied by Tech students, various dignitaries, and Dr. Herman Schibler, Indianapolis Superintendent of Schools, officiated at the groundbreaking ceremonies. Pictured here are workmen completing the first floor of Morgan Hall. Here we see the workmen completing the second floor of Morgan Hall. Morgan Hall was constructed at an approximate cost of $832,000. When completed, the new Morgan Hall contained various classes in vocational education. From the 1958 yearbook. As early as 1913, Tech had a vocational department that offered courses in carpentry, printing, and pattern making. At first, there was only one teacher in each of these subjects, some of them having only one and some 2 classes each day. Through the years, however, Tech has added many other phases of vocational work to the curriculum. In fact, this year, 1958, a modernistic, bright, and spacious new building known as Morgan Hall, which was dedicated Supreme Day, May 22nd, was added to our campus for the purpose of housing the ever-expanding enrollment in shop classes. A dream came true for Mr. Anderson when the new shop building, Morgan Hall, named for Tech's second principal, was finished. In 1958, Morgan Hall was home to classes in foundry, sheet metal, cabinet making, airplane mechanics, printing, radio, TV shop, concrete and masonry, electricity, carpentry, and auto mechanics. In the early 1970s, the building trade students built a house at 1405 East Michigan that still stands today. DeWitt S. Morgan was born June 27, 1890, at Middle Point, Ohio, the son of P. Schuyler Morgan and Agnes Foster Morgan. He obtained his early education in the public schools of Scott, Ohio, and in the Canfield, Ohio Preparatory School. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree from Henry Kendall College, now the University of Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1912, and the Master of Arts degree from the University of Wisconsin in 1916. Later, he studied in the graduate school at Indiana University. The honorary degree of Doctor of Law was awarded him by DePauw University in June 1934, and also by Wabash College in May of 1943. In 1916, Mr. Morgan began his career with the Indianapolis Public Schools as an instructor in history at Arsenal Technical High School. 2 years later, he became head of the history department and in 1921 was made assistant principal. He served in that capacity until 1930, when he succeeded Milo H. Stewart as principal of Arsenal Technical High School. The 1937 Tech Yearbook reported that at the time there were 6,873 students enrolled in approximately 145 subjects. The various classes were taught in about 180 classrooms in 14 buildings on the campus. There were 249 teachers, 17 assistants, and an office staff of 15. In July 1937, Mr. Morgan was elected by the Board of School Commissioners to succeed the late Paul C. Stetson as superintendent of the public schools. He assumed his position as superintendent on September 1, 1937. He served 7 years as superintendent prior to his death from hypertension in City Hospital on February 27, 1944, at the age of only 53. His funeral services were held in Caleb Mills Hall at Shortridge High School. One of his pallbearers was Hanson H. Anderson, who succeeded Mr. Morgan as principal of Arsenal Technical High School. ROTC students from Tech served as ushers, and a special service was held at 11:15 a.m. prior to his funeral, generated from Arsenal Technical High School, and all Indianapolis public schools closed at noon that day. He would have been very proud of his building, which is still in use today and is the vocational center of the campus. Beginning in fall 2018, Tech will return to its original beginnings as a vocational training school in construction engineering and design, current law and public policy, math science academy, new tech high, and a potential military academy. Tech will be one of only 4 remaining IPS high schools. The others are Shortridge, Washington, and Crispus Attucks. Each high school will be considered career academies and will prepare students for their future.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
In its 51st year of publication, Hoosier Basketball Magazine. Check out this year's magazine covering the entire state and the teams that we love. Follow Hoosier Basketball Magazine on Twitter at Hoosier Basketball at HBB Magazine. Halftime here at Tech. Richmond leads over Arsenal Tech 35-4 alongside the Doc. I am Charles Benberry, and we were talking off air, Doc, about some good things that we've seen from the Tech Titans and some things they can look forward to in the second half. And if you don't mind sharing your medical expertise like you do with Keith, sharing your keys to the game for the second half of Richmond and Tech.
That was well done.
Hey,
that was well
done. I do what I can. I've been dissecting that one for the last 10 minutes.
Well, that was well done. So, yeah, for Tech, again, it's just about keeping the kids engaged. It's about getting better than they were the last time. Hey, not even when they showed up to start playing this game, but the last time they were down the floor. And you see, Coach Milson work feverishly during timeouts to try to make that happen. Let's just hope that Tech finds a way they find a little bit of their identity, and they find a way to have a little bit of fun going forward here.
Leading scorer in that first half for Richmond, Jakaya Lotz, excuse me. She had 13 points as Richmond turns it over in their first possession. Also, the double figures was Aaliyah Allen, so the two post players for Richmond doing the dirty work. She also had double figures with 10 points.
Yeah, and let's not forget that for Tech, Ashley Marin has the 3 fouls, so one more for her, and she's kind of the lone bright spot for Tech. She's got the that was a push in the back there, but she's got the ability to go up there and rebound, or at least use her body to box out. So that's been a lone bright point for Tech, and it would really stink to kind of have that taken away by another foul. But
that was Sarah Gilbert on the foul there. Lotz can't complete the and one. Richmond gets the offensive rebound. Good perimeter pressure there by Beck Myers, but it leads to a J.C. Allen 3. So 5 quick points here for Richmond to start off this third quarter.
That was great ball movement. I mean, it was good-looking offense, regardless of what the defense was. And Richmond comes out again in man-to-man. So and there's double dribble. Again, once the pressure starts, again, so I think what ended up happening was Coach Milson talked about the communication and covering up the lane in their 2-3 zone, and that's why they found a wide open 3 out there.
And now a easy 2 points there for Jakaya Lotz. She seems to be having her way, and it doesn't seem like too long ago, Doc, with Tech, with Trey Lyles there, and back in 2015, 2016, and it just seemed that was 2014. It's only 6 years ago where Tech Titans were pretty good, as Gilbert seems to be fouled inside, and now Trey Lyles is succeeding in the NBA, and NBA season is starting up here soon. I guess the preseason is going on now, so quick turnaround for the NBA, and it's weird thinking and watching. I guess NBA normally starts in the winter months anyway, so
it's still weird. It's definitely not normal, that's for sure.
Maybe just because they started the season or into the season later, and then they're starting it up back in this time. So
right.
Hopefully the Indiana Pacers can have a good year.
Yeah, and you touched on it as, hey, there we go, Sarah Gilbert with first points for Tech coming out of halftime. You had kind of mentioned the history that Tech has, and we don't know why. Not sure why that wasn't out of bounds, but we don't know why the program is up or down, and I'm sure they have better athletes walking the halls of that school right now, but you would really hope to see Tech come back to some sort of competitive place, because I think basketball is better in Indiana when the inner city schools, especially like Tech, are competitive with one another. Because we talked about this earlier. Nobody really wins in this type of a situation. Richmond doesn't want to be in this situation any more than Tech does. So, yeah, you would hope to see them get back soon.
A couple good defensive stops by Tech on this possession for Richmond, and a timeout by Coach Hillard.
So Coach Hillard has to fight the same things that Coach Milson is fighting, and that is complacency. While Coach Milson's team's getting their face kicked in right now, she has to fight and make sure that their team is constantly learning each time down the floor. Coach Hillard's team has this game won, game's completely over, they're doing everything they want. Are they doing the right thing the right way? Because if they're not, then Coach needs to either call timeout, take them out, and explain. You saw that in the very first couple possessions of the game. He didn't like what he saw, so what did he do? He made wholesale changes, got his team on the bench, and said, look, this is how we play basketball. So I really like the job that he's been doing over there coaching tonight.
Sort of a alley-oop call, and now Marin's going to pick up her fourth.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see, I think, who was that, Allen? I would have really liked to see her not bring the ball down in that situation. And, Coach will probably show her that in film. But when she went around, that was a perfect pass. She got the ball, caught it up high. She should have come down and then just kept the ball up and just went straight up for a layup. Because there's no reason to not get a shot off in that situation. But a great move right there.
Leads to a left-handed layup for Richmond. We've got 5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Make sure you stay tuned after the ladies play. We have the men's varsity team set to take off against Richmond itself. It'll be Jimmy Cook and I on that call. As Tech turns the ball over.
So I really do think that Tech, they're a little bit better against a man-to-man. And it looks like Richmond needs a little bit of work. So from a man-to-man perspective on defense, so I think that's probably a good call for Coach Hillard to make his girls, to put them in a situation where they're going to have to do it. So it's a good call by him, but you'd like to see Tech get a few possessions here to practice that and to maybe get a couple baskets.
A wishy-washy move by J.C. Allen. One thing, Doc, I called a game last week, and I promise I've never seen it before. The team started the quarter and they held the ball for 6 of the 8 minutes as Carmen Red knocks down a jumper. And it goes back to the debate of, should there be a shot clock in high school basketball? And I'm not advocating and saying Richmond should, they could easily hold the ball for 350 and maybe get this game over with. But, I just thought it was interesting to see how a team could literally stand there for 6 of the 8 minutes and not have any game action.
Yeah. I've seen that a couple times in playoffs when there was a team that really didn't have too much of a shot to win, and what they wanted to do was, you have a higher percentage to win the fewer amount of possessions there are. So if you're the worst team.
Yeah.
So if you think that you can, shorten the game, don't let them score, don't let them go on the offensive. It is boring. It's not really basketball, but at the same time, you're trying to win. I mean, so that's at the end of it. That's really all that matters.
We called it stall ball.
Yeah.
Because obviously they were stalling. And it was the team that ended up winning too. I mean, they were the better team that won, but they still.
See, you're nicer than I am. I would have called it something different.
Oh. We'll take a quick break. 46-7 is our score. Richmond leads over the Tech Titans.
More fixing, more finding, more being original. Unique like this, trendy like that. More designing this, arranging that. More saving, and then more making it happen. More of your space looking like this, and more of you feeling like that. More excitement, more savings, more furniture, more rugs, more flooring. More affordable luxury from RG Decor.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the Indiana SRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School, where the Tech Titans, facing off against the Red Devils, find themselves down 46-7. And the entry pass is stolen.
Marin's back out there with her 4 fouls, so obviously it's not that huge of a deal at this point, but
so I guess I'll ask you, do you think there should be a shot clock in high school basketball?
For the most part, I think no. But I'm not really crazy about those types of things going on here. So, but
so I think you can see both sides of
for sure
needing a shot clock and not needing one.
Mm-hmm.
When you're the team that's, I guess, trying to get back in the game as Abby Brewer. So she's not number 12. She's number 30.
Yeah.
But
it's I like the game kind of the way it is now, and for the most part, teams do the right thing. Now, if you are going to have a shot clock, I think it should be 45 seconds. Nothing crazy. I really do think there is. I think that is kind of the great equalizer every once in a while when you have a team that is the underdog. They can't compete, and they need to make the game shorter. As Marin scores on a free throw there. But to do what you just mentioned, I'm not crazy about it. What are you teaching your kids here? I mean, is it within the rules? Yes, but it's just, I don't know.
And then I think I can see both sides of because if you're going to stand there and hold the ball for
it's within the
6
rules,
minutes, you could use a shot clock. But again, I've never seen that, and most teams normally run the plays they might not get a play call off in the 24 seconds, but I mean, they get it off within a reasonable time. So maybe I assume that's why there is no need for a shot clock. But
well, see, and the thing is, hey, if you don't like it, play defense, because you could pressure the ball.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, as us fans, you kind of, while the upsets are fun, at the end of the day, the champions are going to be champions, and it's all going to equal out in the end. And we want to see the best teams play the best teams, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I really don't like messing with like a shot clock or anything like that. But or I'm sorry, I really don't like teams hanging onto the ball for 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was a first for me. I've never I've never called a game where a team held the ball for that long, but it is 2020, so.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
And Zakiya Beck-Myers gets her 4th point of the game. Tech reaches the 10-point mark.
They look like there's a little bit of fire in them here. Right there, Marin looked like she was going to go after it, but there's not much she can do there.
Recognized her foul trouble. She has 4 in this game. J.C. Allen with the layup there.
So again, you see Richmond go back to that 2-3, and what they're doing is Tech. They're using Marin in the middle to get it to that high post and try to facilitate it from there. And they had a couple possessions there in a row where it was, they did a good job. So they're growing, baby steps. They're growing. And, hey, they got 10 points. I know that's not huge, but, they haven't broken double digits here in 4 games. So, Coach Milson has them hopefully better than when they showed up to the court today.
$15 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. Richmond looking for the last shot. Ball's in the hands of Nyjah Orr. Has not scored this game. She averages about 10 points. She drives the lane off the backboard, gets her first 2 points of the game. And that is how this 3rd quarter will end. 54-10 is our score. Stay tuned for the 4th quarter. That action coming up next here on IPSathletics.tv.
You got a broken door, trapped car, you can't buy time.
We take it very seriously and take pride in being responsive.
We have all of Central Indiana covered from Martinsville,
Avon, up to Anderson,
to Cicero. There's always somebody in your area.
It's important that we're able to get there, same day, because people's time is valuable.
On our trucks, we carry just about everything we need to fix a garage door right then and there.
Sunshine, rain, or snow, we're good to go.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
In its 51st year of publication, Hoosier Basketball Magazine. Check out this year's magazine covering the whole state and the teams that we love. Follow Hoosier Basketball Magazine on Twitter at Hoosier Basketball, at HBB Magazine.
I just realized that you can read promos while I can shove pizza in my mouth.
Yeah.
And
That's the first time I've seen that piece of paper. I probably should have emphasized different words there.
Hey, Doc, that's why we just asked you the medical questions. Gilbert will shoot a right corner 3. Gets knocked down to the floor, no call. And that ball is going to be knocked out of bounds, and possession will stay with the Red Devils.
Tech is really going after it right now. I really like their it looks like their body language is perked up, and they're getting after it. Are they in man-to-man? They are. This is the first time I've seen them in man-to-man.
Allen with the pro hop, no good, knocked out of bounds. Possession stays with the Red Devils.
See, right there, if I was an official, any 50-50 call, I would just give to Tech. I don't know why. I don't know. That's probably why I'm not a ref. That's probably why I've always yelled at them.
I would say it's fun yelling at refs, but only for good reasons.
We shouldn't say that in front of Keith because he's kind of.
Oh, speaking of the head man, as he walks in to check our broadcast, as a foul up top is called on Zakiya Beck-Myers. I wish we had a headset for Keith because I want to ask him about this whole Doc situation as he takes your headphones. So I got to ask, why do you call him the Doc, Keith?
Well, if you would see him coach, he dissects and all kinds of things when he does his play-by-play, and he's one of those weird guys that somehow attracted me to join us to be part of the crew, and so I just said, we're just going to call you the Doc. He goes, okay. Plus, ask him what he does for a living. He likes to chop up people. So I mean, it's kind of scary.
I mean, he told me that he might get me in some surgery here soon because I have some issues going on with.
I know your knee is really bad.
Yeah, it actually is. That's not a joke.
Well, you're kind of old. I saw you walking across the parking lot to the skybox, and you were limping. How's the pizza, fellas? Hospitality treating you well?
Yeah, I had a chance to shove some in my mouth and made the Doc read the promo to start the fourth quarter. So, pizza's good. I didn't have an opportunity to eat before I came in, but, yeah, pizza's good, and hospitality is a 5-star if I had to give it out of 6.
It's a lovely skybox, I'm telling you. Back to you guys through the game.
Keith Myers joining us on the broadcast.
I had the mute button the whole time.
And you didn't even use it.
He pays me. So
he told me last week we get paid by the minute, and since we weren't doing anything, I don't get paid that week. So you could have muted him for my sake. Jump ball is called. Possession will stay with the Red Devils, as no one has scored in this fourth quarter so far. With it being cold, Doc, football season. Mm-hmm. You got the Colts 9-4.
Yeah.
Looking good. Trying to win the AFC South, tied with Tennessee. Got a big matchup in the Chiefs and Saints this week, and for my fantasy team purposes, I need the Chiefs to. I need the Chiefs to kind of lose. I don't know what I need, because if the Chiefs lose, they have to throw the ball more, and then that means more points for. He has Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. So I would hope that they could be winning, and they just run the ball.
Don't you have you've got the running back too for the Saints?
I've got the running back for the Saints.
Yeah. So you need them to be winning.
But the Saints like to pass the ball more to the running back. So the more that the Saints are throwing, could be good for me.
Yeah.
I'm more scared of Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce.
For good reason.
Jimmy Cook, who's going to be doing the game with me for the men's, he walked in with a Chiefs face mask, and I go, "Hey, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I need your Chiefs to lose this week," as Sarah Gilbert knocks down that layup. I need your Chiefs to kind of stink it up this week, man. I'm sorry. Maybe Mahomes just has one of those off days, and
we talk about percentages here tonight. We talked a lot about taking high percentage shots, and the percentage of the Chiefs sucking is pretty low.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried.
You should be.
This is as Gilbert.
Are you in the playoffs?
Yeah. So I scored the most points in the league, but I was 4th overall because I lost my last 3 games. Drew Brees got hurt. Kamara was kind of stinking it up a little bit. I fell down, and now I'm facing the number 1 team based off record this week. Fortunately for me, he lost Christian McCaffrey. He lost Julio Jones. So
if he had a healthy team, he'd be in trouble.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't even be talking about it. I would.
It's a lot like Tech. I mean, they had a lot of people out.
Yeah.
It's a totally different team without them.
So, I got a lot of prayers this week going up for fantasy. Thing is, we've been in this league for 4 years, and me and the guy I'm playing now are the only 2 guys that have won the championship.
Oh, you've won a championship? You've got a ring? Why aren't you wearing your ring?
Well, it's not fitted.
It's not fitted yet?
Yeah, it's not fitted. So the first year we did it, I won, and then he's won the last 2.
Oh.
So, now we're trying to make it. In our group chat, everyone's like, we want to see someone else win. And I'm like, nah, I want to keep us 2 being the only 2 winners of the fantasy league. I want to keep it us 2. I want the ring this year. and we'll see if that can happen. Gilbert gets fouled again. We'll go to the free throw line.
She's getting after it. I'll tell you what, ever since they scored the two in the first field goal in the third quarter, they've had a different attitude.
Yeah. I think it's been since Keith's been on the mic.
No, you know what? Don't give him anything. I thought you were on my team.
I am on your team. I am on your team. But since he got on the headset, Tech's played a lot harder.
Since he's gotten on the headset, I will say that my ears feel a little bit grimy and gross.
Yeah.
That's the only difference that I notice.
Is that what he would text you about for his medical issues, his ears?
You know what? I could say something to him, for sure.
Can you prescribe anything to?
I cannot.
No. Can you prescribe me something?
No.
No?
No. I can help a physician prescribe something, but that's about it. I know, I just let you down.
I'm disappointed. 58-13 is our score, just under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Nice move.
Beck Myers will be called for the personal foul. J.C. Allen will go to the line. Allen has 11. 3 players in double figures for the Red Devils. Allen, Lotz, and the other Allen, J.C. Allen, Aaliyah Allen.
Yeah, you can tell J.C. Allen is special. She may have not they may not have had the spotlight on her tonight with the post being so wide open and so easy to go down to. But her ball handling skills, her shot, her footwork, she's a pretty special player.
Misses the second free throw. Richmond gets the rebound.
I was going to make fun of you earlier for saying the red numbers and the black jerseys. It is difficult to see the numbers.
Right. As Richmond turns the ball over, it's not just because we're old.
No,
it's not because our eyes have been used to staying at home and working from home, but just a little. Well, and the roster that I printed off didn't have some of the numbers, so then it was also difficult to read that too. When my producer texted me the roster, and I probably should have just looked at that one first, then look at my roster. So sometimes I'm smart, sometimes I'm not.
Listening to your producer is usually a good idea.
Sometimes I tell Ben Woods, our producer.
See, it looks like. I mean, there's some hustle going on right now.
As Tech forces a turnover for Richmond.
And again, this was something that Coach Milson really needed. She needed something to where the girls could buy in, and I think that they have. I think that you see them out there. I feel as though, and my degree is actually in psychology. I feel as though their body language is so much better, especially when you just let somebody dribble right by you like that. I think she thought they were in zone for a second, but wow, that was as easy as it gets.
So with the 2 points, 61-13, as Beck Myers goes high off of the backboard for 2 points. She's got 6.
And I know it sounds silly, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can tell with every basket that goes in, there's a little bit more pep in their step.
And for Tech, this is the most points they have scored.
Since, I think, week 1. Or the first game. Week 1, I'm still in football mode.
Hey, it is football season. I'm going to make sure that's right before I don't want to be wrong again, and especially with my roster. I was wrong. I was wrong thinking you could help me out with some prescription.
Yeah, that's my fault.
So, they scored 23 points November 10th.
Mm-hmm.
and that was the last time that they had scored in double digits. So this is one of their better efforts for Tech. And again, you mentioned just moments you can build off of and moments you can look to take away from this game. Can you leave the gym thinking you got better at something?
Hey. Oh, they're not counting it?
I think they are. I think she was just so excited to score, she didn't think she got fouled.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't.
Arena Taylor with the 2 points, and I think that's what happened. I think either she didn't think she was fouled or she wasn't expecting to get called for the foul call. You see the replay here, and you saw the hand come down a little bit from Neely.
Yeah.
But a good take there by Arena Taylor. Her first 2 points of the game, first bench points for the Titans. Can't knock down the free throw. But Tech does get the steal. Beck Myers for 3. That is short, rebounded by Lucia Farrer. And now traveling call on Richmond. We'll give the ball right back to Tech.
I'm telling you, there's only 2:28 left. They're going to be able to go into the locker room tonight feeling good about themselves. I mean, because some positive steps were taken. Yeah. So I'm really happy for this program. I'm really happy for Coach Milson. She's worked her tail off lately. So let's hope this positivity, goes into practice, and she gets a good couple practices out of the way, and see where they go from there.
As mentioned before, make sure you stay tuned for the boys varsity action coming up next. Jimmy Cook has the call on that one. I have Doc's position. We're going to be rotating seats here. Going to take 6 Clorox wipes and wipe down what Keith and Doc have touched today. Make sure I'm not anywhere near that stuff.
I don't blame you.
No. Well, you're the doctor. You're supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to do of sanitizing, cleaning.
You're supposed to do that for sure. You're supposed to wipe it down.
I'm gonna have 6 wipes. I'm gonna make sure it's sterile.
I don't blame you.
Ben, who's the camera guy? I want to give a shout out to Chase Middleton, our Chance. Chance. Don't punch me, Chance. Next time you see me, I want to give you a shout out for braving it out for doing the camera work at the high school today. And our producer, Ben Wood, who has to really deal with us broadcasters. It's not an easy job. Sometimes he has to do a lot of work, but when it comes to me and you and Jimmy and Keith, sometimes we're a lot. And he can't really do or say much. He just has to kind of sit there and just take the beating.
Take it.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to Ben for also producing this game and dealing with our antics. Not every day you get the boss coming in and stealing the headset from you.
Yeah.
As Richmond misses the layup and a scrum on the floor, jump ball goes to Tech. Tech is going to fall to 2-6 on the year. Richmond will jump to 5-3. Next games for both teams, Tech will be facing off, if it still stands with everything going on. Their next game is not until the new year, January 7th. That will be off against the Indy Metropolitan Pumas. And for Richmond, again, this is all based on if things continue to go as scheduled and games are not canceled. The next game is also not until the new year. That is January 8th against Marion.
Ashley Marion, she's showing some flash there.
She gets her 3rd point of the game.
Nice.
Gilbert does a nice job defensively. Here comes Beck Myers. On the other end, can't get the layup. Marion with the rebound, can't convert. 2 Tech players are fighting, knocking over each other and chairs. And here comes Tristan Neely. Neely, turnaround jumper, no good. Beck Myers with the rebound. 30 seconds to go. Beck Myers crosses the timeline, slows it down, finds Marion. Free throw line jumper, just short, and rebounded by Richmond, and that might do it for the matchup. Richmond just has to get across the timeline.
Yeah. You know,
they do in time, and this is how the game will end.
I think both teams did what they set out to do. Richmond stayed who they are. They got better with who they were inside their own offense. They messed around with a little bit of different defensive sets. And for Tech, Tech was able to take some positive steps tonight. They were able to create a little bit of an identity. They were able to get out of a little bit of a funk. We saw some really poor body language early in the game, and towards the end of the game there was hustle, there was pride, and there's no doubt that they are a better basketball team than when they walked out there the first time.
Leading scorer of the game is Jakaya Lotz. She had 21 total points to lead Richmond. Leading scorer for Arsenal Tech was Zakia Beck-Myers. 61-19 is our final score. Richmond defeats the Arsenal Tech Titans. Alongside the doc, Chance Womack as our camera guy, Ben Wood as our producer. I'm Charles Benberry saying thanks for joining us. Make sure you stay tuned. Guys Action's up next. Jimmy Cook and I have that call. You're watching IPS Athletics on IPSathletics.tv.
Tech. Early history, 1863 to 1912. The United States Army selected a 76-acre site at 1500 East Michigan in March of 1863 to be used as a military base for the manufacture and storage of Army supplies for the state of Indiana as the Civil War proceeded. In its time, this site was well beyond the city center, where the surrounding farms, roads, and trails were not densely populated, so it was deemed an ideal location to create and store munitions. Captain Thomas J. Treadwell, at the age of 31, began the task of developing the project. Treadwell oversaw construction of the first massive storehouse, known as the Arsenal. The Arsenal building is one of the most significant historical military structures in Indianapolis and the state of Indiana. Its 3-story height, imposing 6-story tower, plus basement, were made of stone and bricks crafted on the grounds. The doors of the tower, later modified to form modern doors present today, were left open so that horses and wagons could pull into the openings. A hoist and pulley system could lift supplies up to the appropriate floors above. The total dimensions of the building, which still stands to this day, 173 feet by 63 feet. Its keystone over the south door is dated AD 1865. A large clock, 6 feet in diameter, plus a brass bell, are located in the tower of the building itself. The arsenal mainly served as an arms and supply storehouse for the Army once construction was complete, and it is reported that at one time it housed as many as 100,000 rifles. Featuring a normal complement of 50 soldiers, in addition to artillery, harnesses and horse equipment, and even satchels like this, were made in shops on the grounds. Over the years, many other buildings were added to the Army base. In December of 1866, the magazine ammunition storage building was constructed. It had 2.5-foot thick walls made of bricks from the grounds of the campus. Many chimneys provided a type of air conditioning which kept the gunpowder dry. This building still stands to this day. In 1867, a guardhouse was completed at the main entrance to the grounds. This building is still standing much as it was when completed. Another guardhouse, identical to this one, was built in the center of the quad, where today the fountain stands. This structure was used as the principal's office in the early days of Arsenal Technical High School. The original building caught fire in 1921, and the structure was demolished. In 1869, the barracks for enlisted men was completed. It was built with the lower floor beneath ground level and 2 floors of adjoining sleeping and living quarters above. Each room had a fireplace for heat and many windows for summertime ventilation. In 1867, a brick 3-story barn was erected. Horses were housed in the lower level, and earthen elevation allowed wagons and grain to be stored on the second and third floors of the building. It still stands and is used today as classrooms. The artillery building, also added in 1867, was built to manufacture Army equipment. In 1893, this building was enlarged. It later housed shop classes and a cafeteria when students occupied the grounds. Both the east and west resident homes for the colonels and their families were constructed in the 1870s. These structures were identical. These elegant mansions were built with beautiful mahogany woodwork, hardwood parquet floors, marble mantels on the fireplaces in each room, and large windows which converted into doors leading to porches on 3 sides of each mansion. Colonel Treadwell and other commandants of the arsenal lived in these buildings for the remainder of the time this campus remained a U.S. Army base. The west residence still stands and is today called the Colonel's Cupboard. The east residence was torn down when Treadwell Hall was built by 1929. The arsenal's importance declined after the war with Spain, and the government authorized its closing in June of 1902. The last Sunrise gun was fired on April 13, 1903, marking the military abandonment of the grounds. On March 27, 1903, the grounds were sold at public auction for $154,000 to an Indianapolis public trust created to keep the property intact as either the site of a school or a park. A trade school was established and opened on the site November 8, 1904. Winona Chautauqua was a Christian organization that originated as a summer program for Sunday school teachers at Chautauqua Lake, New York, in 1874. It had quickly spread across the country, landing in Indiana in 1895. The organization arranged conventions featuring popular speakers and entertainers, Billy Sunday, William Jennings Bryan, Will Rogers, James Whitcomb Riley, and offered culture and religious activities for small communities around the country, reaching its peak in 1924. Winona leaders became concerned with the lack of qualified workmen and artisans of the time period, so the movement established a school board comprised of well-heeled businessmen who plotted out an ambitious plan. They first established the Winona University College in 1895 in Winona Lake, Indiana. A second school, located on the ground of the former U.S. Arsenal in Indianapolis, was called the Winona Technical Institute at Indianapolis. It offered courses in pharmacy, printing, lithography, building trades, electricity, iron molding, and other departments. The Winona Institute went bankrupt and had to be closed 8 years later in 1911. For a year when the campus was unused, but it was soon purchased by the Indianapolis Public School System for its new third Indianapolis high school, the Arsenal Technical High School, which would open its doors on September 11, 1912. Now let's review the buildings on the Tech campus, which were built during the time it was a U.S. Army base, 1863 to 1903. In 1912, Arsenal High School had just opened when this aerial view was taken, and much of this view remains remarkably similar today. The area within red on the left is associated with Building 1, which is the guardhouse. Building 2 is the Arsenal. Building 3 is the West Residence. Number 4, in red outline at the lower right, is Woodruff Place. Building 5 is the second guardhouse, also known as the Quadrangle Office. Building 6 is the barn, which is also known as Allen Hall. Building 7 is the barracks. Building 8 is the magazine. And Building 9 is the East Residence. The Arsenal building remains the dominant and lasting building on the Tech High School campus. This plaque greets all who enter the grounds of this campus. Established by an act of Congress in 1862, this arsenal furnished munitions for U.S. forces until 1903. It became the home of the Arsenal Technical High School in 1912. Arsenal Technical High School starts September 11th, 1912. As fate would have it, in the fall of 1912, Indianapolis Public Schools was desperately in need of another high school. The U.S. Army campus, with the large Arsenal building, was standing vacant, and the Winona Institute was now closed. Indianapolis Public Schools purchased the 76-acre campus in order to relieve the overcrowded conditions in Shortridge and Manual Training high schools. The only feasible plan seemed to be to form a new third high school where students might be accommodated. New students were given all the studies open to beginners at the other schools, and they could transfer at the end of the year and continue their studies. On September 11, 1912, Principal Milo Stewart and 8 teachers opened Arsenal Technical High School, the third high school, as the city was growing outside its mile radius area to 1500 East Michigan Avenue, and the new Woodruff Place to the east of the campus. On the morning of September 11, 1912, 101 anxious students arrived early in the morning to enroll in the newest high school. Students climbed up the old winding staircase, past the hoist lift, and into room 7. There were no desks, blackboards, or even classroom partitions. Carpenters were working quickly to make partitions into classrooms, but there was so much to be done before school could open. So Principal Milo Stewart asked the students to come back again a week later, and the school would be ready for them on September 17th. On that day, there were 183 who were ready to enroll, and teachers began their first day at Arsenal Technical High School. As the year progressed, things began to be much brighter for the students, and the enthusiasm for the new high school increased the enrollment. By the end of that first year, the enrollment from transfer and new students had reached 347 in May at the end of the year. Beginning in the fall of 1913, enrollment was 626, and by the next year, enrollment was 1,160. During this time, also, the first printed edition of the school paper was published, and soon named Cannon. In 1915 to 1916, there were 1,400 students attending. On May 22, 1916, nearly 4 years after the first day of school, the Indiana Supreme Court ruled that the property, including the buildings erected during the Civil War, and the acreage of woodland, was rightfully under the jurisdiction of the Indianapolis Board of Public School Commissioners. There was great jubilation and festive celebration on the campus. This day has continued to be known as Supreme Day. Today, it is a day for recognizing outstanding honor students, scholarships, and special alumni. The first students graduated in June of 1915. In 1916, vocational education was added to the school's offerings. Woodworking, agriculture, building trades, automobile repair, construction, electricity, machine shop, and printing. From 1916 to 1917, the numbers of students had increased to 2,020, and 459 entered mid-year. At this time in 1917, it was necessary to split attendance, some students attending in the morning and some students attending school in the afternoon. Faculty had grown to 65 teachers, whose day began at 7:30 and ended at 5 p.m. Classes were meeting in the barn, barracks, east and west residence, the shops, the arsenal, and the artillery building. Classrooms in the campus was very crowded, but all managed somehow. From 1917 to 1918, the number of students increased to over 2,500. It was at this time that Tech started a football team, baseball, basketball, tennis, and track. That soon gained popularity and developed many loyal fans. By the opening of school in 1918, there were over 3,000 students attending Arsenal Technical High School on a daily basis. During the World War I years, many Tech male students attending ROTC summer camps and became officers in the war effort. Early in 1919, building plans were initiated, and soon thereafter in 1920, construction of a liberal arts and academic classroom, the Main, later named Treadwell Hall, was begun. On Veterans Day, November 11, 1919, south of the Arsenal building, 240 trees were planted to honor the pupils and teachers who served the military forces during World War I. This area of the wooded campus became known thereafter as Liberty Grove. In 1920, a list of alumni from the classes of 1915 to 1918 was compiled, and the Alumni Association of all graduates was established. In 1921, enrollment was over 5,000 students. The new classroom building, the main, was finished and in use by 1922. Enrollment continued to increase annually. The new shops and the new girls' gym, Lone Hall, were added to the campus in 1922. When this building was built, it was known as the new shop, because the old shops had been in the Arsenal building. In 1924, the power plant was constructed. This structure is still in use today. The northeast and southeast wings were added to the main building, Treadwell Hall, in 1928. Here are pictures of the construction of that portion of the building. This was to give additional classrooms for many students now attending daily. In 1929, the Reuben P. Belmer Gymnasium was opened. Seating capacity was nearly 4,000. A pipe organ was also installed for convocations, singing, and graduation ceremonies. The organ was even played during basketball games to add to the enthusiasm of the game. In May of 1929, the east residence was demolished to make room for the drive, which travels northeast around the south end of the main and then north along the west property line of Woodruff Place. The next structure added to the Tech campus was the football stadium, now known as the Howard L. Longshore Stadium and Wally Potter Football Field. This was added in 1939 as part of the WPA project. A quarter-mile oval track enclosed the new football field. Athletic events were gaining popularity, and Tech was producing winning teams in all sports. By this time, 1937 to 38, the enrollment at Tech High School had reached 7,895, with over 350 teaching staff. This was larger than any college campus in the state. The enrollment of this school from its founding in 1912 of 183 students to this number in such a short time reflects the growth of the state's capital city. Tech was one of the largest and most respected, innovative, and comprehensive high schools in the nation. The next building being planned for construction was Stewart Hall in 1940.
At the point we left off in the story, everything was going just as God had intended. God had given Adam and Eve a perfect world and a perfect relationship with one another, with their surroundings, and with God. Yep, sounds a lot like today. People getting along, everybody loving God, taking care of the earth. Yeah, not so much. So what happened? Well, a serpent in the garden came to Adam and Eve and tried to convince them to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the same tree that God had told them not to. The serpent told them that they would be just like God if they ate from it. Well, we don't know what the exact kind of fruit was, an apple, an orange, or a juicy Tennessee tomato. And we don't know for sure whether they believed the serpent or wanted to find out for themselves. The fact of the matter is, Adam and Eve ate that fruit. This decision would change the course of history and had immediate consequences. Adam and Eve couldn't live in the garden anymore, and their perfect relationship with God and each other was broken. From there, things just seemed to get worse. One of Adam and Eve's sons murdered his brother, and their grandchildren did all sorts of wicked things. We're trying to keep it as PG as possible here at World Outreach, so we'll skip over the nastier details, but as the population of the earth grew, evil and wickedness took over. How would things ever get back to the way God had intended at the start of creation? At one point, things got so bad that God was sorry for ever creating humans. You heard that right. God was sorry for making humans. It's in the story. You can look it up. So, God decided to start over by wiping out the entire population of Earth with a great flood. He spared one man named Noah and his family and a bunch of animals that Noah loaded into a giant boat. But soon after the flood, Noah's kids and grandkids started to rebel against God, and some of them even completely forgot about God. Again, these parts of the story are better suited for an audience of 18 and up, but suffice to say, violence and hatred was everywhere. From the look of things, it seemed like there was just no hope for human beings. But God's plan was still emerging. God appointed a special group of people to be a blessing to others and help bring things back to the way they were intended to be. God started this group with one man named Abraham, telling him that God would use his family to bless the rest of the world for generations to come. There was just one problem. Abraham didn't have any children. None. Zero. Which might not have been a problem, except that he was already 75 years old, and his wife Sarah was far too old to have children. Wow. Imagine what it would be like if God told one of the oldest couples in this church that they were going to have a baby. Can you imagine your reaction? Can you imagine their reaction? As difficult to believe and downright silly as the promise seemed, Abraham and Sarah waited for God to make good on it. And sure enough, Sarah actually became pregnant, giving birth to a son they named Isaac, which means laughter. And so it began. Isaac grew up, married, and had twin sons. One of these twins, Jacob, got married and had 12 sons of his own. These 12 sons became the leaders of 12 tribes in this new nation, a nation that would bless all people. God gave this nation a name, Israel. It seems God had a way of following through on a promise, just not always the way Abraham, Sarah, or even we might expect.
Hi, everybody. This is Jimmy Cook with Indiana SRN. We're excited to bring you tonight's contest between the Richmond Red Devils and the Tech Titans. However, with senior night festivities going on, we are delayed just a tad. Hang with us. They've just started the warm-up clock, so probably about 10 to 13 minutes from now, we'll be coming live for you with pregame between the Tech Titans and the Richmond Red Devils. Again, about 13 to 15 minutes, we'll be on the air, bringing you the pregame action. Myself and Charles Binberry will be on the call. Stay with us, grab some snacks, get a drink, sit back, relax, and we'll have some high school hoops for you coming up here in just a little bit on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Okay, let's recap a bit. God had created a perfect world, and humans just kept making a mess of things. Okay, recap over. Actually, God had now chosen a special group of people, the nation of Israel, to be a blessing and make things right in the world again. But it seemed like from the start, this new nation wasn't going to have it easy. The Israelites had moved southwest to Egypt and had grown into a large nation. The king of the Egyptians, Pharaoh, felt threatened that the Egyptians would soon be outnumbered and overthrown by the Israelites. So he made all the Israelites slaves, working long and hard hours for the Egyptians. Some scholars even believe it was the Israelites who built the famous Egyptian pyramids, but not everyone is sure. One thing they are sure of, the Israelites probably didn't build the pyramid over in Memphis. But the threat to Israel went way beyond slavery. Pharaoh eventually made a law that every newborn Israelite boy should be killed. How was God going to use them to bless the world for years to come if none of them were alive? It was during this time that an Israelite named Moses first gets mentioned in the story. Most of us have probably all heard that name before, maybe even seen a movie or two about the guy. Who knows for sure if Moses looked anything like a well-tanned Charlton Heston, but we do know this from the story. Moses was one brave guy. Even though he was an Israelite, Moses had grown up in Pharaoh's courts, living just like one of Pharaoh's own sons. But that didn't stop Moses from taking Pharaoh head-on when he was an adult. God had made it pretty clear to Moses what he needed to say. Let my people go. After years and years of living as slaves, Moses demanded Pharaoh let them leave Egypt. It didn't happen right away, and a lot of bad stuff had to happen to the Egyptians before Pharaoh changed his mind. But finally, he gave in to Moses and to God. He let the Israelites go. Well, not so fast. Pharaoh changed his mind pretty quickly, and right after Israel left Egypt, Pharaoh sent his armies to hunt them down. They chased Israel up to the edge of the Red Sea. They were trapped. Once again, on the verge of escaping disaster, the Israelites now stared death in the face. But Moses stretched out his hand, and the waters of the sea parted so that the Israelites could cross. When the Egyptian armies came chasing after, the waters fell back down, and all the Egyptian soldiers were killed. Israel was free. Sure, it's all pretty exciting when we watch Hollywood recreate the scene. But can you imagine actually being there? Watching all that happen in front of your own eyes? Soon after escaping, Israel had trouble finding food and water, so they started to complain. Because of the complaining, God forced them to wander around the desert for 40 years, instead of leading them directly to the land that God had promised to Abraham. Well, watching a bunch of people wander around the desert for 40 years doesn't make for very interesting movies or TV, so we don't often see it. But it's a huge part of the history of Israel, and also proved to be pretty helpful to them. God used Moses to give them instructions on how to best live their lives according to God's ways. Having spent their lives as slaves, the Israelites were just learning how to be God's free people. It was an amazing journey. God led them by a pillar of fire at night and a cloud by day. Eventually, Moses grew old, and shortly before he died, passed on the leadership of Israel to a man named Joshua. When Moses died, the Israelites stood at the edge of the promised land. Their time of wandering was over, but their struggle to survive was only beginning.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Indiana High School Hoops here on Indiana SRN, live from Arsenal Tech High School, a matchup between two unranked teams in Class 4A. It's the 2-3 Arsenal Tech Titans hosting the 1-2 Richmond Red Devils. Hi again, everybody. Jimmy Cook alongside Charles Benberry tonight. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Friday evening with us here on Indiana SRN and the Indiana SRN family of networks. This matchup between these two schools set to take place features teams kind of in the same boat, a game below 500, trying to get above that mark as the season goes on, as we first take a look at the Richmond Red Devils as I bring Charles into the fray. Charles, this is a situation for Richmond where just one win underneath their belt so far, and including two straight losses, one at home to Marion and then one on the road to New Pal. Two respectable programs to have two losses to, but still two losses nonetheless. A Richmond team that comes in giving up more points on the defensive end than they are scoring. Never a stat you want to have, even if it is early in the season.
Yeah, and coming into this season with everything going on, especially with COVID and stuff like that, I don't want to say like you want to. Starting off the year is going to be different for each team. And, you mentioned 1 and 2, and they're giving up defensively more than what they are offensively. So, I think this might be a game where they can maybe figure some things out against Arsenal Tech. Tech only comes into this matchup 2-3, and they're struggling a little bit, in their own way. So maybe this is a get-right game for Richmond where they can figure out some things offensively and defensively, maybe figure out some things as well and kind of lock down this Tech Titan team.
Well, this is the nightcap of the girls-boys doubleheader that we saw earlier today. Charles, you were on the call for the girls section of that. Thoughts on both those programs? I know that once again it was a it's been a work in progress all season long for the Lady Titans, but a better output, at least on the offensive end for them. What did you see from both sides?
Yeah, they ended up losing that game 61-19, but you mentioned a better scoring output, and that's what we saw, especially in the second half. They scored 19 total points and about their second highest scoring output of the year. And what you saw is, especially in that third and fourth quarter, the defense played a lot better for Arsenal Tech. They seemed to lock down a little bit more. They still had some wide opening gaps and some easy baskets, being able to allow Richmond to score. But I think they can take today's game and go in that locker room and feel a little better about themselves, especially coming off some tough games the last 4 games. I think tonight they can be like, okay, we found maybe something that works here, and this is something we can build off of. They don't play again until January 8th, so they have a couple weeks to maybe sit down and look at some tape and figure out what works for us, what doesn't work, what are we doing wrong, and they can take this holiday break, hopefully do it safely, but maybe they can take the break and kind of look and see what are we doing wrong and what can we improve on moving forward.
On the other side of the fence for the Tech Titans, they enter 2-3 on the season, losers of 2 of their last 3. Started the season with a loss at home to Warren Central, 76-63. They then had a victory by 12, 107-95 on the road at Tinley, and lost to North Central 91-55 on the road. Won 74-60 versus Anderson at home back on December 11th. And then on the 12th, they lost to Brownsburg at home, 77-43. So an up-and-down affair to this point in the season for the Arsenal Tech Titans, but a couple bright spots, most notably that of Davion Turner averaging about 15 points per game and Gabe McQuay averaging 17 points per contest. How nice have both these guards been kind of complimenting one each other as the season has gone on?
It's something that the coach can look forward to and something that's going to be needed today, and they both have 2 different type of playing styles, as you would say. McQuay, a 5'10 senior guard, and again, you mentioned averaging about 17.8 points a game, and Walton is a 6'1 senior guard. So one kind of plays, the more ball handling, more as the shooting guard, but both can get shots up whenever they need to get shots up, and they can both attack the basket when they need to. Both can drive the lane. They can kind of do really whatever they want. So it is nice for both of those guys to complement each other. And it'll be interesting to see how they go up against this Richmond defense. As you mentioned, they bleed points throughout the early season so far. So if they can get off to a strong start for Tech, if they can, get to the basket, create their own shot, get to the foul line, maybe Arsenal Tech can look for their 3rd victory and get 500 on the year.
Yeah, we mentioned a little bit Richmond's lack of scoring output by comparison to the points they're giving up per game. Well, the same can kind of be said for the Tech Titans. They've given up north of 70 already twice this year, including a 91-point outing that North Central had against them. So they're giving up about 79.8 points per contest, scoring about 11 points less than that. So both these teams have been putting up a fair amount of points, but they've been giving up far more than they're scoring. That leads me to think that this is going to be a contest that is going to put together a high scoring output for both teams.
You like that, and obviously everyone watching basketball likes to have those high-scoring games. And again, we could have that tonight going on with Tech and Richmond. So both teams have players who can be the star, take over their own teams. And again, interesting to see how the 2 against Tech goes off against a couple versus Richmond.
We're going to step away the first time here on our pregame show. When we come back, we'll take a little bit of deeper look at both these 2 schools, including previous meetings between the 2, if any are on the docket. That and more after this. You're watching Indiana High School Hoops on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves. through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School. Jimmy Cook alongside Charles Benberry. Set to do battle between the Richmond Red Devils, 1-2 on the season, taking on the Arsenal Tech Titans and host Titans at 2-3 on the year. I want to remind you we have plenty of broadcasts on the Indiana SRN family of networks, including in the other side of the ledger for us on the Indiana SRN family of networks. Chittard and Covenant Christian finishing a boy-girl doubleheader right now as boys varsity set to do battle. Our very own broadcasters on the scene for that one, Sean Kroll and Keith Myers. You can get that on another device or the main screen as you wait for our broadcast to get underway. That one started just about 20 minutes ago, so still have plenty of action you can check out there. And then bright and early tomorrow, I shouldn't say bright and early. I'm used to the volleyball and the football start times. Around mid-afternoon, 2:25, we'll have Heritage Christian at Cathedral in some hoops action. North Central at Crispus Attucks in the nightcap, along with Pendleton Heights and Guerin Catholic, Traders Point and University as well. Elsewhere throughout the week, Indian Creek at Greenwood Christian for some girls basketball. And then next Saturday afternoon on December the 26th, Lafayette Jeff at Shortridge. That's a 2:25 start time. That's the upcoming broadcast on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. As we take a deeper look at both of these clubs, we'll start first with Richmond, as the Red Devils come in ranked 179th overall in the state of Indiana per the Sagarin ratings, 85th overall in Class 4A. Conversely, Tech ranked 111th in the state's overall rankings, but 63rd within the 4A class. Last outing for Richmond, we already touched on that a little bit. It was a loss to New Pal, 71-47. Meanwhile, for the Titans, they most recently lost to Brownsburg, 77-43. A combined record of the opponents on the schedule for both these schools, 7-3 for Richmond, 11-9 for the Tech Titans. In the last 35 years of this series, it's been dominated by Tech 9-2. The last meeting coming back on December the 20th of last year, a 62-57 victory for the Titans, a 5-point win there. And all those numbers and stats coming courtesy of John Harrell's Indiana High School basketball website. He has the prediction tonight, a 10-point victory for the Tech Titans, 75-65. As I welcome Charles back into the fray. Charles, that 10-point margin sounds about right with where this Tech Titans team is, but north of 60 for both teams, a high-scoring affair as we kind of expect.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned how the Richmond defense not playing up to par as we expect them to play, so that does leave some opportunity for the Tech Titans to maybe get some baskets there. But I'm interested to see how the Richmond offense kind of comes out this year. On the year they shoot 47% from the field and about 46% from the three-point line. And their lead scorer, Stephen Douglas, who's a sophomore, so he's going to be here for a couple more years. He and Tyler Harris, the two scorers that only score in double figures for this team. So, again, you have two guys in each squad who can score double digits, who can get their own points and make their own baskets. I'm assuming they're going to be guarding each other, so maybe that comes down to who is going to be the role player, who's going to be that third option for each team that can come in and get you some quality minutes, some quality points, and kind of turn this game around, who can be that X factor for both sides. So, again, that point prediction by John Harrell is kind of what we were both thinking of coming into today's game, of 7, 8, 10-point matchup swinging either way. But, with the way Richmond's defense has been playing lately, I feel like you have to give the edge a little bit to Tech. But, I guess that's why you play basketball. That's why you play the game. So it's going to be an interesting matchup tonight, I believe, between these two teams.
For the Tech Titans, you look at recent history for them, and they've really, which is, if you could only grab NBA talent left and right wherever you can. But the biggest thing for the Titans in the last decade was obviously the play of Trey Lyles, them winning a state title there at Tech. Since then, they've struggled to replicate that success, which, again, rightfully so. We're not just plucking NBA talent left and right. Even though we are big fans of Indiana high school hoops as a whole, it's just hard to attain and develop said talent. However, in first-year coach Damon Turner, he is very proud of the program that he is set to put together. For a first-year coach, what kind of challenges are you going to go up against, particularly among the maybe hardest type of sentence you could have, which is a first-year head coach in the middle of a global pandemic? That's a resume item I'm sure he didn't expect to have when he initially took this job.
That's probably the first thing he's going to put on his resume now, coached in the 2020 pandemic. But, I think one thing, head coach's first year is, the hardest thing probably is, not replicating what the old coach did. I think you want to come in and establish your own mantra, your own way of doing things. And, you don't want to come in after a coach and kind of copy theirs. You want to hope that the players that are on the team buy into what you're bringing, the new style that you're bringing. So I think so far, it's been a smooth transition for the Titans and first-year head coach. I mean, again, he's got a couple scores on his team, and it's just some things he's working on. Obviously, you mentioned you're not going to just find NBA talent everywhere and anywhere on your team, and if you can develop an NBA talent, that's more power to you. But I think that's probably the hardest thing I think for a first-year head coach is just to not take the style of the other coach, and also just bringing in your own style and hoping that the team kind of adapts and adjusts to that and kind of takes that in one of their own. And then once you get that established, I think you can start bringing in some players that you think can probably fit the mold of your team. If you don't, quote unquote, think that's on your team now, you can maybe try to get some players to come in. And again, looking down at the roster, a lot of these guys are seniors. I see about maybe 4 or 5, 6 seniors on this team. So he's going to have some turnover next year. So it'll be interesting to see who he can bring in next year to fit this team, and who's going to step up between the sophomores, juniors, and freshmen. Who's going to take that leap this year in the offseason going into next year, and who's going to be that main guy that is going to be that coach can lean on.
When you look across the aisle for the Red Devils and Coach Shabazz Khalik, this is his 3rd year at Richmond, his 13th overall, so plenty of experience for him coaching high school hoops in this state. This is a group, though, on paper that conversely is very, very young. Lost a lot to graduation last year. It's a mixture of a handful of juniors, some sophomores, and a couple freshmen sprinkled in for good measure. No seniors on the board. How are you able to extract that leadership, not force it, but put your upperclassmen in situations, or perhaps even some of your sophomores in situations early on in the season where, hey, I know what I can do. I have the confidence to go out there and succeed on the floor, but I also want to be a leader for my teammates.
I kind of like having a young squad because you get to grow with these guys all 3-4 years, and you go through the hardships now, so when it's time to come down later in the year for the playoffs or whatever, you have that, and they already know what to do. They've already experienced the hardships, so it's easier going into the playoffs, and you can expect that for the last 3 to 4 years coming down to the wire. So, again, for Coach Khalik, he's got, you mentioned no seniors, but the juniors have to step up and really take leadership of this team and kind of show the young pups how things are done here at Richmond High School.
It's always an interesting transition in terms of the way each school sets up their baton toss to national anthem to starting lineups. As we wait to see, it looks like they might start with starters for both these teams. And again, we are on the back half of the girls-boys doubleheader. I guess I'll ask you as an investigative reporter here, Charles. Was there an anthem before your game?
There was. They did do a national anthem for the ladies. So
sometimes if they open with that, they don't do it on the back half. So we might just end up seeing straight into the starting lineups.
And with it being delayed for senior night, I would highly doubt that they're going to delay it. I mean, I guess this was supposed to be a 7:30 start.
They're already about a half hour behind, which is another thing that has been confusing to me. Traditionally, I know you and I have been out of the game, as it were, at the high school level for a minute, but I remember senior night being an event that took place in February, right? Like your last home game of the year. The only thought that anybody has brought my way, I've not talked directly to the IHSAA, so I have no idea. I'm kind of just speculating here, is you're worried about where the pandemic is and maybe not being able to have a send-off senior night, so to speak, so you want to get in earlier.
Yeah, and you saw the football teams kind of do that too, kind of get the senior night out of the way early just because you don't know if things can get canceled or if anything can happen. You never know. So let's go and make sure we can recognize the seniors now, and then we can kind of get that out of the way so then we can play on the rest of the season. And then if all things go well and we don't have any games canceled, then at least you got to recognize the seniors for their hard 4 years of effort at the high school.
Let's take a look at the starters. You just saw on your screen the Richmond Red Devils. Number 0, a junior, Chase Newton. At the other guard, a junior, number 2, Tyler Harris. At the other guard slot, a junior, number 3, Dorian Hill. Another guard out there, a 5-guard look out there for the Red Devils. A sophomore, number 23, Stephen Douglas. And rounding them out, a junior, number 24, Trenton James. Head coach of the Red Devils is Shabazz Khalik, 30-24 in his third year at Richmond, 205-88 in his 13th year overall. For the home Arsenal Tech Titans, at one guard, a 5'10 senior, number 0, Gabe McQuay. At the other guard slot, a senior, number 1, Isaiah Lockard. At 5'11, a 6'3 senior guard, number 10, Abraham Parker. A 6'3 senior forward, number 11, Jamar Jones. And a 6'1 senior guard, number 25, Marcus Walton. Rounding out the starting 5 for the Tech Titans, their head coach is Damon Turner. In his first year at the helm of the Titans, 2-3 on the season. Any keys to the game either way, Charles, for both these teams? Or points of emphasis you're looking at early?
I think for the away team, Richmond, you're going to have to figure out how you can kind of quit leaking points on the defensive end and then see how you can stop Tech's quote-unquote 2-guard play with Gabe McQuay and Davion Turner. Those guys are the main guys for Tech. So if Richmond, you can kind of quit that leaking of the points defensively, I think that's a good way, and then you get your guys going. If you're Tech, get the ball to your 2 main guys and kind of have them start you off. If you can get them off to a good start and then force Richmond to change defensively, I think Tech can have a really good opportunity to get to the basket. That you may force Richmond to go into a 2-3 zone or a 1-to-1 man-to-man, however that is. If you can force them to change early, make them adapt to how you play, I think Tech has a good chance.
The Tech Titans in their home whites with the green numerals, green trim. Meanwhile, the Red Devils in their black road jerseys, black numerals and lettering, and the red trim. Always a fun combination when you're repping the black on black with the numerals and the lettering and the jersey pattern.
It was hard for the girls to read the numbers for Richmond, so guys are the same.
Titans will start with a wild shot that misses the right side of the rim, and it's last touched by the Titans. So it'll go to the Red Devils. A little full court pressure being applied by the Titans to open things up. They'll get it in and walk it up the floor. Hill has it at the top. Working around left side. As Newton has it stripped, able to get it back. Down the lane. Wild layup up, no good. Rebound fought for, and it's going to be touched on the end line by the Red Devils, out of bounds, back to the Titans.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult
to
read the numbers here for Richmond. And, you think as a head coach, that's probably the main thing to think of. I want to make sure the broadcasters can read our numbers. So we'll see if we can squint our eyes and figure out the numbers early in the game.
Right side triple off the mark by McQuay. Up the floor come the Titans. They'll work left side, transition triple in the air, triple off the mark. Rebound taken by Jamar Jones. Up the floor, Jones lays it up cleanly off the window and in. First blood belongs to the Tech Titans. They lead it 2-0.
And a good job there by Jones. He got the rebound and realized if no one's going to stop me, no one's going to pick up the ball handler, I'm just going to take it myself.
Right side, 3 in the air, 3 through the bottom of the net. That's good. Dorian Hill on the triple. Lead goes to the Red Devils, their first lead of the ball game. Right side, Titans thought about a 3.
And you see the 2-3 zone being deployed by Richmond.
Straight up triple banked in by Gabe McQuay. He's shooting it from a 41% clip from downtown on the season, 5-3 Titans.
So with that 2-3 zone, if McQuay and Turner can kind of get going here early, you might see Richmond go out of that 2-3 zone. They want to make Arsenal Tech shoot from the perimeter. They only shoot 41% on the year with 2-pointers, 29% from 3.
James hands off over to Harris. Harris to James. James, the top, almost picked up that pivot foot. Back to Harris. Triple up, triple good. Tyler Harris knocks it down. He and his other guard mate in Hill, both with 2 triples, 6-5. Advantage Red Devils. Lockard tried to answer. That three-pointer's off the mark. It'll stay on this end. Take another look at that triple by Harris.
So you see just off the back pick there, good screen set by the big man, Stephen Douglas. And after that flare, you saw Harris just kind of roll off of that. Defense didn't recognize it till late. Had an easy opportunity.
Skip pass in the corner over to McQuay. He'll reset things back with a skip to Walton. Now Lockard powers through. Wild shot off the window. No, but the putback is good by Jamar Jones. 4 points for him. Lead back to the Titans. Always love somebody crashing the offensive glass.
Yeah. And that's what Jones is going to get you, a 6'3 senior forward. Again, no one decided to block him out on that last play. He decided to crash the boards and get an easy putback.
Hill, a three-pointer that hits everything but the side of the backboard. Here come the Titans. Up ahead, Lockard. Gives to Parker. Puts his head down. Wide open lane for him. He missed the layup. Putback is not good by Jones. Just left it short off the front of the rim. There's an extra pass. Parker, his shot won't go. Putback no for Jones. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Parker.
And if you're Richmond coach Shabazz Khalik, you're not happy that you didn't get the rebound, but you saw how easy it is for Tech to get to the rim. And I think that's where these defensive laps are coming and how Richmond's given up so many points. Your interior defense has to step up a little bit. You have to box out. There's no excuse for Jamar Jones getting 4 offensive rebounds on that one possession and Tech as a team getting 5. You have to do a better job of blocking out and making sure you secure that defensive rebound.
Newton in a trap. Has to push it up the floor. That's been one of the biggest things with the Titans offense early on in this one. Your point, Charles, is that it's pretty much part of it like the Red Sea whenever they want to go drive the lane. There's no help defense, lack of communication, and then nobody's getting a body on them for those second chance points.
And second chance points is always a key indicator. If you can win that battle, you might be able to win the game. That and the turnover battle. So far, Tech has done a good job getting to the offensive board.
Harris finds Hill, leaves it for James, puts it up off the window, no. Rebound Parker. Hill push. They don't have numbers. Almost a walk. Right side, Walton. He hits the triple. Marcus Walton from downtown. Small sample size on him, just a 27% shooter from beyond the arc, but it's the largest lead of the game for either team at 10-6. Both teams doing a lot of good work from downtown. Pressure still applied. Hill sees a window. He'll skip it. High to Harris. Extra pass. Right side. 3 in the air. 3 off the mark. Rebound tracked down by Parker.
And you saw that's a good job there by Richmond. A little slow getting past that full court press as you see the 3-point here by Walton. Everyone collapsed on the ball handler, the ball driver. Led a wide open 3 for Walton. You mentioned only shooting 27% from 3, but Richmond got past that full court press, led to a wide open 3. A good look for Richmond, but again, they're one and done for Richmond. You have to find a way to take the advantage, getting to the rebounding advantage, and so far that hasn't happened. As another 2 points in for Jamar Jones. He's shown a lot of promise so far early in this game. Doesn't look like anyone on Richmond is going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, Jones doing a lot of good work on the interior, particularly on the offensive glass. Lead now up to 6 at 12-6.
Ooh, good back cut.
Newton hesitates. They work it around. There's Harris. Douglas leaves for Harris, and he shuffled the feet. That's one of the biggest points of emphasis over the years, particularly at this level, Charles, is that if you want to take off as a guard, you got to put it on the deck first, and you have to do it with authority. If you hesitate for a second, shuffle the feet, it's going to go the other way.
They're calling you. You're calling it for you, yep. That's exactly right, Jimmy. And again, Richmond hasn't looked bad, I feel like, offensively or defensively. There's just some things they can tighten up a little bit, but, they're only down 6 so far in this game. They just need to knock down a couple shots.
Parker, baseline, leaves for Walton, off the window and in. Marcus Walton now with 5.
And he comes in averaging only 4.6 a game, so he's at, if you round up, he's at his average. As a good play call there by Richmond, and I believe that's Stephen Douglas on the layup.
On the other end, a layup up and good by Turner. Turner now gets into the scorebook. Lead is 16-8.
And you see the defensive lapse that we talked about before. Richmond giving up more points defensively than they do offensively. As
Newton triple in the corner is good.
Again, offensively, they look fine. I think they can get anything they want offensively. It's just defensively. If they can lock down and figure out a way to stop the bleeding inside the paint, this Richmond team can go places.
Yeah, very much still alive in this one. There's no doubt about that. On the drive, James, wild shot. It's stripped. Newton gets it. Taken by McQuay. Pushes it up ahead. Parker lost it. Threw it backwards. Somehow gets to Turner. His three is blocked. Newton up the way. And that's tipped away by Walton. They'll say it's last touch by the Red Devils, though.
That's interesting. I thought that was knocked out by Walton. There's that three. Again, you drive the baseline, attract 2-3 guys, and that leaves Newton wide open for a corner three. Again, you have 4 of the 5 starters for Richmond scoring, so you have balanced scoring for Richmond. Their offense, again, they're doing some nice things on offense. It's just defensively. And if you're Coach Kalik, you have to figure out how you can stop the inside. Again, another easy pass there. That time a guard did a good job of getting into the passing lanes there. I believe that's Harris, if I'm not mistaken. But again, guards are going to have to do that. Sometimes you have to have a guard. If you're not a good rebounding team, you have to have the guards kind of collapse down in the paint, help out with the blocking out, the rebounding, and that can kind of offset your lack of rebounding from the bigs.
The only downside to that is that if the Titans' three-point shooting starts to come out to play, then you're going to have to be picking your poison as this game goes on. 5-point game, right side triple in the air, triple off the mark, rebound Walton. He'll push ahead. Almost a pull-up triple. Turner will now take a side dribble. That three's off the mark. Ball tipped, controlled by McQuay. He sees some room, goes down the baseline off the mark. Fall-away shot is up and good. Difficult shot there for Matt Spears. Lead back to 7. Up the way come the Red Devils. They feed inside to James. Wild pass. Walton takes it. It's a 3-on-1 all the way to the rim. Laying it up and laying it in is Davion Turner. And a timeout taken by the Red Devils. A full timeout. We'll take one as well. 31.6 left to go in this first quarter. Titans on top by 9 on Indiana SRN. Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School. 31.6 left to go in this first quarter. The Tech Titans on top of the Red Devils of Richmond by 9, 20-11. Charles, you've mentioned so far from the Titans, the biggest issue has been on defense in this first quarter.
Yeah, they've allowed a lot of inside the paint baskets, a lot of offensive rebounds to Tech. And they missed some easy shots inside the paint as well, so that's kind of their demise here for this 20-11 deficit. But again, offense is the furthest thing from their issue, at least in this game. I think it just comes down defensively and boxing out. But, you know, Spears, who's on the court, 6'6", Fable Pittman, 6'5", Jamar Jones, 6'3". You know, you're already at a height disadvantage.
Pull-up triple won't go for Harris. Second chance at the horn. Counts. Give that one to Dorian Hill. Make that Stephen Douglas, rather, as the buzzer sounds. We'll step away. End of one. Titans lead by 7 on Indiana SRN.
You got a broken door, trapped car, you can't buy time.
We take it very seriously and take pride in being responsive.
We have all of Central Indiana covered from Martinsville,
Avon,
up to Anderson,
to Cicero. There's always somebody in your area.
It's important that we're able to get there, same day, because people's time is valuable.
On our trucks, we carry just about everything we need to fix a garage door right then and there.
Sunshine, rain, or snow, we're good to go.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School, where Tech and Richmond are set to face off here in the second quarter. Leading scorers for both sides, Tech had 6 points from Jamar Jones, and for Richmond, they were led in scoring by a trio of players. 3 points by Newton Harrison Hill, 4 by Douglas. A turnover for Richmond on their first possession, Jimmy. And again, offense seems to be stalling a little bit for Richmond, but their defense really leaking some points.
Traveling is called against Parnell Lanier. He just checked into the ball game for the Titans. That one was a little bit more up for debate in my mind than the first one. Early stages of this second quarter. Falling away, tough shot, won't go. Rebound won by the Titans. Wild pass is caught by Lockard. Up the way, Turner tripled. In and out, putback no. But they'll say, I think in the act on the putback, so it'll be 2 shots.
But do you see the effort there by Tech getting to the basket, crashing the boards? It just doesn't seem like Richmond is boxing out. And I think that's really their only thing they need to do. If they can box out and secure the rebound, I think they can hang with this offensively with Tech. So we'll see if Coach Kalik made any adjustments during the break into the second quarter.
Well, it continues to go to your point exactly of, are we going to be able to box out better in this second quarter? They've had too many second chance opportunities. Are we going to be communicating on the defensive end in the half-court action? Let a pass get inside, or we're going to have active hands and try to keep the ball in front of us?
Yeah.
Might be a lane violation here. Let's see. I believe that's what it was on Tech. Free throw was missed anyway.
So they go 1 for 2, and again, free throws could be a part of this game too down the stretch.
Newton will walk it up the floor. Controls it, heavily pressured by McQuay. Pitt was dribbling a bad spot. Ends off on the far right side. That's Douglas. Douglas gives to Michaels. Now Douglas gets it back at the top. Skip pass over to Harris. Harris finds Newton in the corner for 3. Almost banked it off the corner. Could not go, and a loose ball foul will be whistled against the Titans.
And you see the pressure. The pressure seemed to be getting to Richmond out there on the perimeter. They got a good-looking shot in the corner, but a lot of standing around in the offense, as I mentioned, stalls a little bit, especially with that pressure and you're not knowing what you want to do, as now they're having trouble getting the ball inside.
Beautiful cut that time, and an opportunity for some free throws upcoming for the Titans. I believe that's Drew Van Vliet headed to the line. Indeed it is. This will be the sophomore's first free throws of the varsity campaign. First one long. Van Vliet will have one more. Splits the pair. Does Drew, his first points of the night. 7-point game, 21-14. Spears give to Turner. Skip pass over to McQuay. Little jab step. McQuay hops, floats, puts it in. Gabe McQuay now with 5. Lead back to 9, 23-14.
And so far, Richmond staying in that 2-3 zone. So the perimeter shooting for Tech hasn't been, as we get an offensive foul, the perimeter shooting hasn't been quote-unquote exceptional for Tech, enough to where Coach Kalik wants to keep it in that 2-3 zone. But, you know, here's that pro hop by McQuay as he gets past the defense. Maybe you find a defense where you go to a 3-2 zone get them out of the paint. You have to find a way to get this Arsenal Tech team outside of the paint, and where that allows you to get to see some offensive rebounds.
Locker at the top, and a timeout taken by the Titans. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll stay here. 6:03 left to go in this second quarter, with the Tech Titans up by 9. Want to remind you to be sure to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN, and also never miss a second of the action by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, search IndianaSRN, click that red and white subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications turned on your device, so you always are alerted whenever there's a new broadcast going live or posted on our archives. Over 800 archived games, Indiana SRN on YouTube. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. Jimmy Cook alongside Charles Benberry. Again, so pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Friday night with us here on Indiana SRN and on the Indiana SRN family of networks.
It's been a while since we've called a game.
It has. We were talking about this and can't for the life of us remember what the broadcast was, but a football broadcast I know was won at the Horn on a field goal about a year ago.
Yeah.
It feels like 10. I think a lot of people have stories like that amid the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a nice bank shot there by Matt Spears, the junior. Finds the after-hours ATM and is rolling now with 4 points in the half.
We were talking about our production meeting that happened in July, and it felt like it was like January. So, everything in 2020 is just kind of felt like it's been forever. So far, that's how Richmond feels with this game, down 9 points and a turnover there. They just can't seem to get anything going now. The offense seems to be stagnant, and it just seems like it's been a while since they've had a couple good offensive possessions where they've strung together.
I think this is my fault leading you astray on that. Now an 11-point lead for the Titans after that bank shot. But nevertheless, that further adds to your point about the fact that for the Titans, with the Red Devils, the way the Titan teams plays offensively and the way the defenses look, that 11-point lead can balloon up to 22 in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and as McQuay gets a layup there, communication majors aren't good at math.
No, me neither.
Yeah, so my math was just a little off there. But yeah, you see that now defensively as another turnover there is just kind of stringing bad possessions together. So again, the key to the game was if you can get your two guys get going in the first quarter, the first half, that's all the more power to you. Make Richmond adjust, and so far, they haven't scored, absurd numbers, but you've had Jamar Jones, who's a quote-unquote role player outside of the top two. He scored 6 points. Spears has scored 4 points. Walton averages 4 points a game. He has 5 already. So you're getting contributions all over the team for Tech. If you're Richmond, you have 4 people scoring the basketball, but that's about it. So you have to have some more balance on your team.
Red Devils work it around the horn. Harris has it. Over to Douglas. Douglas around a screen from James. Nice backdoor cut. They missed him. Harris at the top with under 4.5 to go. And a travel. That far side official has been on it tonight. Any even thought about picking up a foot early before putting that ball on the deck or walking the other way.
He's calling him for it. And, Douglas he was saying he continued to dribble, but you'll see a lot of players when they pass the ball, they kind of walk into that step. And so that counts as your 2 dribbles. So you see it right there, that little kind of that mini hop step. That counts as a dribble.
McQuay in the corner for 3, knocks it down. 7 points for him in the quarter. He's now got 10 on the night. The lead is 16 at 30-14, largest of the evening for the Tech Titans. Red Devils still searching for answers. Harris shot off the mark. James tried to get the board. He does. Puts it back. No. Rebound. Saved all the way into the backcourt. It's a 1-on-2. Now a 2-on-2. Pass on the window won't go. Thought he might try to pass it off the window. Instead, that's a shot. Now over to McQuay. His 3's off the mark. He tried to follow his shot. Newton tracks it down. Wild exchange of events by both teams. Right wing 3 in the air. 3 off the mark. James tried to get the board. They'll say it was last hit by Jones. It'll stay with the Red Devils.
Trenton James doing his best effort down there trying to get some boards. He's had a couple opportunities where he's gotten the rebound but hasn't been able to put the putback in successfully. And, again, he's had about 2 or 3 tries, so give him about 6 points for that. That's a 10-point game instead of a 16-point game as a nice
lob on the inbound.
I believe that was Douglas. on that. So there's a good possession for Richmond. Now it's about stringing some good possessions together. Can you get a stop defensively and then come back down on the offensive end and score again?
It's all about straightening together, like you mentioned, good possessions, but on both ends of the floor. As a drive there with contact by Parker, going to lead to some free ones. That'll go against Tyler Harris. That's his first. Fourth on the Red Devils. Parker, a 75% free throw shooter on the season. First one off the mark.
You can tell that kind of came off his hands a little hard and resulted in a missed free throw attempt. A 75% shooter, he's normally accustomed to making his free throws.
I should say for the folks at home, in general, this early in the season, it is a small sample size on these free throw attempts.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the senior, as you mentioned, traditionally a pretty solid free throw shooter. Splits the pair there. Lead at 13, 30-17. Hill, little jab step, top of the key jumper. Won't go. Board secured by Pittman as Fabo Pittman checks into the ball game. Right side, Lawton will try a triple. That's good. Marcus Walton, hits down the triple. He's now got 8. Lead is 16, 33-17.
Good pass.
Beautiful find inside. It's sent back the other way by Lockard. Extra chance for the Titans, no, and now a run out. Up ahead, they have numbers. They'll reward him. Lockard the jam with one hand. Ooh. Rejection on one end, the slam on the other.
And if there were fans inside a lot of fans inside the stadium there now, Lockard would have got them all on their feet. What a way to do it defensively and offensively by Isaiah Lockard, a 5'11 senior guard, so he's not the tallest guy, but he got up and slammed it down for 2.
Yeah, showing off the vertical there on both ends. Lead up to 20 in the blink of an eye. Red Devils have to stay patient. James wide open. Measures it, puts it in. Trenton James with his first basket of the night. Cuts it to 18. Turner controls at the top. Operating with this 3-2 zone look. Lockard. Hop step. Puts it up there. No. Pittman. Jump ball. Arrow will favor the Titans with $1:50 to go in this second quarter. Quick inbound to Turner. He'll jack up a triple. Off the mark. Board won by Douglas. Needs a guard. He says, no, I don't need a guard. I'll push it up myself. Hill measures. 3. No. Up the floor come the Titans.
And 2 quick shots. The one by Tech, their last possession was a very quick one by Davion Turner, and then on the other end, Dorian Hill. I thought he could have got inside the offense a little
Parker,
later.
Catch and shoot 3, no. Rebound James. Or at least a positive note for the sake of the defensive glass, but now followed up by a turnover. Well, it looks to be a turnover. I think it might stay on this end, though. Nope. It'll go back to the Titans.
And a missed opportunity there for Richmond to have the fast break.
Just 1 step forward and 2 steps back at times for the Red Devils in this first half.
And that just is a momentum killer because, again, you think you have the momentum, you score, you get a stop, and then you have a fast break opportunity, and then you turn the ball over. Now they seem to change the call to where it's going to go to Richmond, so I take back everything I said about the momentum going the other way, and now Richmond looks like they can possibly get it back.
It'll be Red Devils basketball. I will explain to you what that was about at halftime. Newton on the drive. Passes inside off the window. That's good.
We're going to go with Dorian Hill.
Hill on the basket. 16-point game. Pass inside, and that's what I was afraid of. We have a picture from the scorer's table tonight, and there is no 32 in the book. So me and Charles are going to have to do some research, but a nice basket there by the Titans. There's an answer with a triple. Give that one to Harris. Lead is 15. Final 30 seconds. Stretch that Douglas, rather. Lead is 15 for the Titans. They might just hold for one. if the Red Devils are content to sit back in this zone. Pass inside, just a little bit too aggressive with that pass. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Titans. 7 seconds to operate for the Red Devils. Harris pushes ahead with 3. Harris pulls up at the top with 2. His triple is good. That's the positivity that the Red Devils needed to close that first half of play. Yvonne Dawn, by the way, apologies to the Dawn family, that had that layup for the Titans just a few moments ago.
Here's that 3 to end the quarter for Richmond. Splits a defender and knocks down the triple again. That's the positive momentum you need going into the third quarter. They got it. 5-0 run by Richmond.
Good way to close the half. We'll have more after this. The lead is 12 for the Titans. Stay with us on Indiana SRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
DeWitt S. Morgan Hall. Groundbreaking for the new shops building took place in 1957 on the former site of the Electric Building, which was raised to make room for the new building, which was to be named Morgan Hall, after Tech's second principal, DeWitt Schuyler Morgan. Principal Hanson H. Anderson, accompanied by Tech students, various dignitaries, and Dr. Herman Schibler, Indianapolis Superintendent of Schools, officiated at the groundbreaking ceremonies. Pictured here are workmen completing the first floor of Morgan Hall. Here we see the workmen completing the second floor of Morgan Hall. Morgan Hall was constructed at an approximate cost of $832,000. When completed, the new Morgan Hall contained various classes in vocational education. From the 1958 yearbook. As early as 1913, Tech had a vocational department that offered courses in carpentry, printing, and pattern making. At first, there was only one teacher in each of these subjects, some of them having only one and some 2 classes each day. Through the years, however, Tech has added many other phases of vocational work to the curriculum. In fact, this year, 1958, a modernistic, bright, and spacious new building known as Morgan Hall, which was dedicated Supreme Day, May 22nd, was added to our campus for the purpose of housing the ever-expanding enrollment in shop classes. A dream came true for Mr. Anderson when the new shop building, Morgan Hall, named for Tech's second principal, was finished. In 1958, Morgan Hall was home to classes in foundry, sheet metal, cabinet making, airplane mechanics, printing, radio, TV shop, concrete and masonry, electricity, carpentry, and auto mechanics. In the early 1970s, the building trade students built a house at 1405 East Michigan that still stands today. DeWitt S. Morgan was born June 27, 1890, at Middle Point, Ohio, the son of P. Schuyler Morgan and Agnes Foster Morgan. He obtained his early education in the public schools of Scott, Ohio, and in the Canfield, Ohio Preparatory School. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree from Henry Kendall College, now the University of Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1912, and the Master of Arts degree from the University of Wisconsin in 1916. Later, he studied in the graduate school at Indiana University. The honorary degree of Doctor of Law was awarded him by DePauw University in June 1934, and also by Wabash College in May of 1943. In 1916, Mr. Morgan began his career with the Indianapolis Public Schools as an instructor in history at Arsenal Technical High School. 2 years later, he became head of the history department and in 1921 was made assistant principal. He served in that capacity until 1930, when he succeeded Milo H. Stewart as principal of Arsenal Technical High School. The 1937 Tech Yearbook reported that at the time there were 6,873 students enrolled in approximately 145 subjects. The various classes were taught in about 180 classrooms in 14 buildings on the campus. There were 249 teachers, 17 assistants, and an office staff of 15. In July 1937, Mr. Morgan was elected by the Board of School Commissioners to succeed the late Paul C. Stetson as superintendent of the public schools. He assumed his position as superintendent on September 1, 1937. He served 7 years as superintendent prior to his death from hypertension in City Hospital on February 27, 1944, at the age of only 53. His funeral services were held in Caleb Mills Hall at Shortridge High School. One of his pallbearers was Hanson H. Anderson, who succeeded Mr. Morgan as principal of Arsenal Technical High School. ROTC students from Tech served as ushers, and a special service was held at 11:15 a.m. prior to his funeral, generated from Arsenal Technical High School, and all Indianapolis public schools closed at noon that day. He would have been very proud of his building, which is still in use today and is the vocational center of the campus. Beginning in fall 2018, Tech will return to its original beginnings as a vocational training school in construction engineering and design, current law and public policy, Math Science Academy, New Tech High, and a potential military academy. Tech will be one of only 4 remaining IPS high schools. The others are Shortridge, Washington, and Crispus Attucks. Each high school will be considered career academies and will prepare students for their future.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School. Jimmy Cook alongside Charles Binberry. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Friday night with us here on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN. Titans lead it by 12 going into the third quarter. Taking a look at some leading scorers. Gabe McQuay, no surprise there, leading the way for the Titans. Came in averaging 17, well on his way to clear that average. 10 points in the first half. On the other side, Stephen Douglas averaging 17, 9 points for him. Charles, quickly, keys for both teams in half number 2.
I think for Richmond, they have to find a way to limit the points inside the paint, the interior points for Arsenal Tech. If your Tech continue to do what you did in that first half, get out in transition, get some easy points, and if all else fails, get the ball to your main guy, Gabe McQuay.
It'll be Chase Newton bringing it up the floor as the Red Devils start the second half with the basketball. Pass to Douglas. Now Harris has it. Harris around a screen from James. James a little pick and pop. They don't find him. Now he has it at the volleyball line. Gives it right side. Hill all the way. High off the window and in. Dorian Hill with the basket. Give him 7 for the game.
And some momentum for Richmond. Again, they ended that quarter on a 5-0 run. A three-pointer to end at the buzzer, and now you get this easy 2-point shot there. So
Lockard hanging won't go. Rebound to James. Newton will bring it up the floor to Charles Point as the Red Devils continue to try to chip away at this lead. Pass right side. Hill. Douglas at the top, 3 in the air. 3 all over everything. Got his own board, though. They'll reset. Harris hesitates. Rises. A lot of contact. They say no call. Here come the Titans. Outlet pass. Layup like a gentleman with the finger roll for McQuay. He has 12. Lead is 12. On a 5-point swing there. And there's a blocking foul. That'll go against McQuay. I know we don't have a look at that replay, but did you think there was a little bit of contact on that triple?
I thought so, and refs aren't normally prone to call shots on three-pointers, so I can understand them not calling that shot, but, you know, it's a tough call. You got to have short memory here in basketball.
Pass inside. Douglas amongst the trees puts it up and in. 11 for him. 10-point game. At the top, McQuay, a triple in the air. He rattled it home. Will it count? No. Good eye.
I think he traveled. And again,
that's that same far side official, which yeah. Again, that's not a knock on him. It's just my observation. He's been the one that's clearly had that as a point of emphasis tonight. Not saying he didn't shuffle the feet. It's just that's where the calls have been made.
And again, before players get the ball, they do that little 1-2 step when they get it. And again, that's counting. He's counting that as part of their 1-2 step. So if you don't take a dribble after you do that, he's calling you for a travel.
Newton in a little bit of trouble. Hill gets a screen, leaves it for James. Up and sent back by Lockard. Up the floor come the Titans. They'll leave it. Turner. Extra pass. McQuay catch and shoot. In and out. Rebound tapped up. McQuay's got it. Full speed ahead. Might have dragged that last foot. The electric slide there for Gabe McQuay. Like gets it to go down.
I thought it was a clean Euro. I don't see a replay on that one. I'm not sure. He did make up a lot of room and short amount of steps, but all in all, a good move.
If it was clean, which it very well could have been, it's tough to tell from our vantage point. That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Lead back to 12. Nice backdoor cut. Shot off the window. No. Rebound won aggressively by Douglas. Way to stay there. Something we did not see in the first half.
And that's what he needed to do in that first half. If he could have done that in the first half, limit some of the offensive rebounds for Tech, this game could be in single digits.
Right side. Turner tees up a triple in front of his bench, and it's good. 7 points for Davion. Lead now 13.
We've got a lot more scoring here in this quarter, Jimmy, as paces seem to pick up a little bit for both squads.
And that's a dangerous area to be in if you're the Red Devils, because as a nice cut there, Hill, reverse is good. Pretty move there for Hill, because if you were Richmond, you were down by 12 at the break. You can't afford to get into a track meet with Tech. You need some stops of your own to get back into this ball game. All alone was Locker. That shot won't go. Did the jump man at the foul line. They'll push it ahead. Hill, jab step, 3, long, board to Lanier.
He wanted that one.
He's got a 1-on-3, and he shuffled the feet. Far side official. once again right there to make the call. That one I completely agree with him. And again, none of my previous comments as we take a look at a replay of this.
See that backdoor cut. Good cut there by Hill. Ball almost didn't get there. Nice pro hop, and Dorian Hill's done a nice job. He's not the tallest guy, but he has that quickness. You can see that.
Again, none of my observations have been questioning any of those calls. As there's a nice little pick your pocket for Lanier. Off to the races, off the window and in. Darnell Lanier, his first basket of the ball game, lead is 13, and now there's a foul called against, I believe, McQuay. That's his second. The second on the Titans. Red Devils get into Newton, and the Titans call off the press. Newton has James on a screen, won't use it. Now he will. James on a pop. Heavily pressured, had his pocket picked, can go in the backcourt to get it because it was tipped. We'll have to bring it across the timeline, though. Harris, 6 points for him. Low pass right side to Douglas. Douglas around a screen, had James on the roll. James catches, gathers it, put him on the line.
There you go.
What a move by Trenton James, and that's McQuay's third. That's a big loss in production if Turner decides to have him take a seat. The leading scorer was 17.8. Let's take one more look, Charles.
And again, so you'll see him set a good screen there, get McQuay, Lockhart off his game, and then he just rolls right to the basket. He's done that a couple times, and Richmond hasn't been able to find him on the pick and roll as he misses that free throw.
Right side, McQuay stays in. Three-pointer off the mark, gets his own board, hangs and scores. And a timeout taken by the Tech Titans. We'll take one as well. 3:34 left to go in this one. 13-point lead for the Titans on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
Faith in a company is extremely important, and Johnson Mellon puts their money where their mouth is. In the past several years, we've, as a company, had tithed in which is pretty unheard of.
Things from donating equipment to churches, helping non-for-profits, helping wounded warriors, working with the Catholic community, the churches, a lot of people that may be even struggling that help daycares, help children come into this industry. So we do a lot of donations back to the community, but also our workers and our team also helps in those projects.
Back at Arsenal Tech High School, Jimmy Cook alongside Charles Benberry. 3:34 left to go in this third quarter. Titans lead it by 13, plus one of their halftime advantage of 12. Red Devils, though, have the basketball, trying to chip away a little bit, create an opportunity for a run in the fourth. Newton brings it across the timeline. Feeds inside to Douglas, pressured by Parker. Leaves to Newton. Lockhart has a hand in his face. Stifling defense by the Titans. They switch it. Newton will hoist up a triple. That's long. Board cleared by Turner. He's got a 2-on-3. And we'll reset. Skip pass. Left side. Little hesitation. Turner now at the top. Almost shuffled the feet. Leaves for Parker at the foul line. Just inside is good. Parker now with 3. Lead back to 15.
See, Tech can get that at any point with that 2-3 zone, and they're not playing a press 2-3 on that middle man.
Aggressive shot there by Harris. He's got 8 now on the night. Back to 13. Turner to Lanier. He thought about a triple. Now Turner will hoist one from inside the volleyball line that rattles home.
He's wanted to pull that three a few times since he's had the ball, and I'm not sure if Coach was giving him the green light, but he got to that possession.
He's now got 10 as almost a long 2 turned into an old-fashioned three-point play for Harris. Can't get it to go, though. This will be 2 shots. Isaiah Lockhart looked like he wasn't initially happy with the call. It'll send Harris to the charity stripe, where, again, these stats on a small sample size, just 3 games in for the Red Devils, a 50% free throw shooter. First one clean. Harris with 9 now unofficially. Trying to slowly but surely chip away at this lead. Where's your mark with the flow? We're dropping pens left and right. Where's your mark at this point, Charles? That free throw's missed for where the game has to be for the Red Devils going into the fourth to have a chance. Catch and shoot 3, long. Rebound for the Titans.
I think for them it's
Locker, little Euro hanging off the window. No putback is true by Jamar Jones.
I want to say defensively, but I'm harping on that.
Up ahead with some contact. No, they'll call it on the floor. I'm with you. I think that should have been a 3-point play. I believe that Drew Van Vliet feels the same way. They'll call it on the floor instead, though, on Jamar Jones.
I've harped on their defense, and they've given up 18 points here in this third quarter. But I think offensively they've become a little stagnant. I think if you can find some rhythm offensively and knock down some shots, I think they can be right back in this ball game.
So it's 17 right now. You need an under 10. It's a tough ask with 1:40 to go.
Yeah, I think if you can get it down to where it was at halftime, 10, 12 points, I think you have to feel somewhat good about yourself.
Van Fleet at the top won't go. Rebound to the Titans. Let's see how aggressive they are. Very aggressive. Turner from the parking lot won't go. Not sure you needed that there. Here comes Harris. Body on him. Harris, little skip to my loose. Shot up and put him on the line. Tyler Harris, a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play. Just what the doctor ordered for the Red Devils.
So again, they ended that second quarter on a 5-0 run, and here's the Euro step. You see him use that left hand to get some space. Euro around Davion Turner, who drew the foul there, and you knock down the free throw attempt, so you get the 3 points that way. If they can end this quarter on another run.
Up ahead, that layup is good by Turner. Defense didn't get back.
And he made up for that foul as he leaked out then the free throw. And if you're Richmond, you can't allow that. After especially a made free throw, you need to get back in defense for that. Inexcusable.
Newton hesitates. Van Fleet at the top gives to Harris. Douglas calling for it. They don't find him, and a foul of the hand check variety on Isaiah Lockard.
I think Jones.
Good eye. That's his second.
Yep. And I think that's a 1-and-1.
Yep, 7th on the team. Good eye there, Charles. So penalty will be in effect.
I put in new contacts today, so my vision has been pretty spectacular.
Do you feel
today.
bionic almost? Do you feel?
I feel good, Jamie. I feel good. It feels like I can just see whatever,
Well, I'm glad you're here. That helps me out a great deal. Have another set of eyes as the front end of the 1-and-1. Good there for Harris.
It's amazing what contacts can do when you actually put them in your eyes.
Right. No sense leaving them at home.
No.
13 points for Harris on the evening. He makes it 14. And the lead is 14. 58-44. Final minute of this third quarter. Catch and shoot. Walton had been hot earlier. That three is no good. Nobody boxed out. Third chance will go. Shades of first half struggles there for the Red Devils defensively. Spears puts it back. Lead at 16.
And again, you get a rebound there and a stop. You're right back in the game a little bit.
Harris will match up with Turner. Around a screen from Van Fleet. Pulls up from the foul line. Good. Harris starting to cook a little bit.
He's feeling it. You can tell from the body language. If you're coach Kalik, you got to keep him in the fourth quarter and run the offense through him. Right now, he's feeling it.
He's got 16. Lead is 14. Titans will hold for 1. Turner skips over to Parker with 6. Back to Turner with 5. He'll catch and shoot from the volleyball line. That three won't go. It's tipped up in the air. Last chance at the horn. Shot up will not fall for Fabo Pittman. And that'll end our third quarter of play. +2 go the Titans in that third quarter. They lead it now by 14. Do the Red Devils have a fourth quarter rally in them? Stay with us and find out after this. You're watching High School Hoops on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Back at Arsenal Tech High School, start of the fourth quarter. The Tech Titans at 2-3 on the year, trying to get to 500. They lead by 14 and will start this final quarter of play with the basketball. Jimmy Cook alongside Charles Benberry. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday night with us here on IPSathletics.tv and Indiana SRN. Titans will work to operate around the horn, outscoring the Red Devils by 2 in that third quarter. Story of the night for the Red Devils has been Tyler Harris, 16 points for him. He starts out there guarding Parker. Nice backdoor action. Pass blocked away. Second chance will not fall. Rebound won by Walton. No, it's won by Newton. He came on the weak side, stole it away. Harris up ahead, has Hill on his left side, finds him, catch and shoot, pocket pass, off the mark. Van Fleet could not get the board. Rebound Spears. He'll push it up ahead. Parker, baseline, hesitates, hangs, will not fall. Rebound Hill, and he's fouled. That'll lead to some free throws. Walk it down the other end.
And again, if you can get Tech to get you at the free throw line, that's an easy way to get back in this game. The clock is stopped, and Richmond can get easy back in this game. But again, you got to get the stops defensively, and maybe this is where the acting comes in, some flopping. Make the refs blow the whistle. You never want to have the refs, make the game, but force the refs to blow that whistle and get yourself at the free throw line.
Our producer, Riley Thomason, reminded us that there's no fouls against Richmond so far. So if you're able to initiate that contact and get free ones the rest of the way, which is what's going to happen, go out and do that. The key second half of that is you got to hit the free throws, though. If you're not going to hit them, wasting your time. Another deep triple there by Turner. Won't go, and it's last touched by the Red Devils. Newton hesitated a bit. He thought it might have last been touched by the Titans. No such luck. It'll stay down on this end.
I wish we were a little closer to see where that one landed. I thought it was off Tech, but.
Lob pass secured by Spears. One dribble, shot up, won't go. That board cleared by the Red Devils. Harris pushes ahead. Inside out dribble, stops, pops. That one's long. Rebound by Spears.
That's a heat check. You wanted to take it first, and usually when you hesitate on that and you make on the move, it's not likely for it to go in. So if you were Harris there, you just take that first one that you wanted to take.
Aggressive drive off the window, won't go. Put back, no. Rebound. Foul called. That'll go against the Red Devils. That'll be against Chase Newton. His first, and the first on the Red Devils in this second half. Quick pass. Another extra pass down low. Shot off the window, won't fall. For Pittman.
Defense has played better. Tech has not made a basket so far this fourth quarter. And again, if you're getting the defensive stops, but now it comes down to, can you just make the baskets offensively? You miss a free throw, you miss a couple shots offensively, you make those, it's a single-digit game, and you're right back in it.
Outside of Tyler Harris, there really has not been somebody that can create their own shot in the half court for the Red Devils. You've seen that be a bugaboo for them. If Spears pulls this one from the state championship icon.
And I'm taking my headset off and going home.
Parker, pass inside. Spears shot up, but he's fouled. Last thing you want if you're the Red Devil defense is to bail him out.
That's a tough call because it looked like Richmond went straight up, and when he came down, it was the contact. But, again, Richmond has held Tech to no points this quarter. And, we'll So far, they're keeping it that way as a missed free throw attempt by Mr. Spears.
First foul on Stephen Douglas. One more for Spears. Splits the pair there. Lead is 15, 61-46. We are slowly but surely, Charles, creeping into clock is my enemy territory for the Red Devils. We've had some opportunities, but unable to capitalize in this fourth quarter.
If it stays like this, if it gets down to the 3.5 minute mark, that's when you're kind of thinking, all right, we need to, speed things up a little bit and find some points somewhere.
Harris trapped in a double, somehow gets rid of it over to Newton. Newton hesitates. They left Harris alone. His triple, long, rebound secured by Parker. Pass up ahead. Turner hesitates, was stripped, but they'll call a foul. Looks like from our vantage point, Newton got a clean strip. Instead, it'll be free throws upcoming. It's clear right now, which we talked about it to end the third. I can't blame them for what they're doing. But unfortunately, the Titans know what they're doing, and that is the Red Devils are trying their best to run the offense through Harris.
Yeah, and he's kind of cooled off a little bit since that third quarter. Hasn't made a shot this fourth quarter. I don't think he's been forcing anything. I think it's all come pretty naturally for him, as in the game flow of putting up a shot, but he just hasn't been able to knock it down. So I'm not saying you steer away from him, but now you got to find somewhere to get some points in this fourth quarter as the leads blossom up to 17.
Not quite the largest of the game. That was at 20, as that pass is high over the outstretched hands, just tipped the hands of Trenton James. Red Devils in a world of trouble. Titans with a vice grip on this ball game in this fourth quarter.
With them standing here, Jimmy, I called a game last week where
McQuay hangs and scores.
They held the ball for 6 of 8 minutes.
Charles, I once wrote an article while in high school for our sports section.
Yeah.
Talking about my issues with the Indiana High School Athletic Association not having a shot clock in play. I don't know what the metric could be. It's not going to be 24. It's not going to be 30. I don't care if it's a 40-second shot clock. As they pass inside, deep pass, shot will fall for Douglas. However, something to get players in the mindset of knowing at the next level that there is going to be an amount of time for which you can hold the basketball, I think is beneficial for everybody. Additionally, like you mentioned, you aren't having a situation where you're just going to have a guard go stand at the lettering and hold the basketball for.
Yeah, and
there's at least been scoring in this game. There's some situations documented over the history of high school hoops in this state where you'll have like a 25 to 29 win that was made up of a lot of holding the basketball. Or
yeah, and that was my first time really seeing that happen. Most games, you'll see teams kind of run the game. No play clock, but they get it off in a reasonable amount of time. It's not like they're holding the ball for 2-3 minutes as Parker knocks down a pair of free throws. But that was just interesting to see. I've never called it. I don't know how you call a game like that. How do you? Do you just kind of sit there and let it be silent? And there were no fans, so it's like.
Those ones are tough. Those ones are tough when you're matched up in a situation with lack of attendance and that type of pace. However, the counterpoint to that in some cases, which I understand, as McQuay hits a shot from the foul line, the lead now 21, largest of the game, at 69-48, is, okay, well, don't sit back in the zone. And I get that, but at the same time, who is the responsibility there for? And that's what the argument's always been. Is it the defense's responsibility to create pressure, or is the offense's responsibility to initiate a flow?
Yeah, and this team was playing.
Hill gets a rebound, puts it up, it'll go to the line for 2.
This team was playing a zone, and so you could hear the one fan that was sitting next to us saying, "Pressure the ball, don't be scared, pressure the ball." And I think it was Indy Met. They stood there and they never pressured the ball, and they waited till about 15 seconds left of the game, and finally ran a play, and they missed a 3. So then it's then you're thinking you waste all that time and you come away empty-handed. I guess I get it from their perspective. They're already winning, and if you're not going to pressure us, we're just going to stay in here. But it just sucks you go empty-handed.
Sure.
You waste 5-6 minutes of the game clock, and you come away with one shot and you miss it. For that, you might as well be rewarded, get to the foul line,
right,
or get a basket or something.
Triple for Parker in the air and good. Abraham Parker, his second field goal of the ball game. James. And a shuffle of the feet. Lead now up to 23. Let's take a look at that triple.
So here's that three here. A good pass as Davion Turner attracted again 2-3 guards and found a wide open Parker. He's had a really good fourth quarter, 5 total points. And he's got 8 total. The average is about 10 on the year, so he's just about at his average.
McQuay. Operates in the corner. They're working around the horn now. Turner thought about a triple. Works a nice crossover. Had it stripped, though.
He wanted to pull it so bad.
Up the floor. Hill, little euro. Puts it up there. No. Harris the board. Falling away. It's good. Tyler Harris, another basket for him.
His first points of the fourth.
They have him for 17. 3 points above his average. On the other end, McQuay gets to go.
McQuay's been what he's been advertised, just a consistent scorer. You know, there's not like too much, too little. He just knows how to get the ball in the basket.
Quickly up ahead the other way, layup up, layup good for Marcus Walton. Well, we have an opportunity. We want to remind you, it's the 51st year of publication for Hoosier Basketball Magazine. Check out this year's edition covering the whole state and the teams we love. Follow Hoosier Basketball Magazine on Twitter at Hoosier Basketball Magazine. That's at HBB Magazine. $1:40 to go in this one. Up the floor, Pittman lays it up, can't get it to go, followed his own shot, put it up. That one won't drop either, but he has a chance to earn the 2 points the hard way at the charity stripe. Coming up next for both of these teams, starting with the Red Devils, they'll next be in action tomorrow at home, back in the friendly confines, where they'll host Connorsville. That's a 7:30 start time. Meanwhile, for the Titans, they're back in action with a tough test, a test I wouldn't really want to have necessarily this early in the season, but you got to play what the schedule gives you. On the road at a place near and dear to your heart, Charles. That's right, they're at Cathedral. I don't know the applause was necessary there.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Always necessary, Jimmy. Always necessary.
Pittman gets that one to go.
Oh, man. We were talking off air about you went to Roncalli and I went to Cathedral. And
what year did you graduate?
2011.
Okay, so
it's actually kind of sad I have to think about it that much. I'm not even that old.
Yeah, so one of my favorite memories actually happened inside of this building. Roncalli knocked off Cathedral in overtime, but they hit a 3 at the buzzer to force OT, and then were able to pull off the upset. Then they lost to Jeremy Hollowell's Lawrence Central.
Yeah.
They had a chance at the Horn to beat them there as well, but was not meant to be. Only so much you can do when you're operating against D1 talent like that.
Yeah, and we were just talking about how, like, you know, back in high school it was always, you know, we don't like you, you don't like us, and now it's just like, I mean, we're older now.
Yeah, it's faded away for me. I understand, though, there is a large portion of the community at all these schools where it never goes away. Like, that passion is still ingrained in you. That's not to say that I don't still have that Roncalli mentality within me. I very much do. But at the same time, the rivalries aren't as aggressive as they are once you're there.
Yeah, and it's probably just because we're not there cheering them on, or we don't have any.
No skin in the game anymore.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
McQuay operates. Nice handles there for him. They'll reset things, and they can hold for the end of this ball game if they wish. Red Devils are going to try to force a 5 count. Lockhart in trouble. Gives to Spears. Final seconds ticking away. Parker, coaching staff says, no. Don't go put a basket up here. Buzzer sounds, and that will do it. The Tech Titans snap their 1-game losing streak. Came in losers of 2 of their last 3. Now put together wins in 2 of their last 3, courtesy of the 79-51 final. Titans improved to 500. They're now 3-3 on the season. Meanwhile, for the Red Devils, they fall to 1-3 on the campaign. Big story of the night for the Titans was Gabe McQuay came in averaging 17, and I'm not sure if this is possible, Charles, because so much was going on in this ball game that this is the only word I can use to describe it. A quiet 24 for Gabe McQuay tonight. He was everywhere, but it wasn't necessarily an insanely loud performance. However, you look at the quarter-by-quarter box score, just a triple in the first quarter, but from then on, 7, 6, 8 the rest of the way, finished with those 24 points.
Just consistent. He's a consistent scorer, and again, they didn't need him to do too much tonight, but he wound up with a quote-unquote quiet 24.
Davian Turner and Marcus Walton each put in 10 apiece as well for the Tech Titans. On the other side of things, for the Red Devils, Tyler Harris leading the way, most of it coming in that barrage in the third quarter. He had 18 points for them, 4 clips above his average, 15 points for Stephen Douglas, and 10 points for Dorian Hill. We mentioned up next for both these teams, it'll be Connorsville at home for Richmond tomorrow night, 7:30 start time for the Red Devils. And then on the other side of things for the Titans, they will do battle against Cathedral on the road. That's a 7:30 start time as well. Charles, some final thoughts on this one.
Tech had a good game plan. I mean, they came in again. If they can force Richmond to make adjustments early, I think that's what they did. And for Richmond, their defense and allowing offensive rebounds in that first half and the first quarter really put them in a hole, and they couldn't just find a way to dig themselves out late in the game.
Well, that's Charles Binberry for our entire staff and crew tonight. I want to give a shout out to everybody involved. And again, I want to remind you that you can find all of our future schedules on indianasrn.org, a slew of games going on tomorrow across the network. And want to thank, as always, our partnership here with IPSathletics.tv. For Riley and Chance and my partner tonight, Charles, I'm Jimmy Cook. Again, our final in this one from Arsenal Tech High School. The Titans win it 79-51 over the Richmond Red Devils to improve to 3-3 on the season. And until we talk to you next time, so long, everybody.